In the cradle of ancient civilizations, nestled between the towering mountains and fertile plains of Anatolia, lay a people whose echoes have been all but swallowed by the passage of time. They were known as the Hattians, a civilization that flourished long before the world would come to know the mighty Hittites. Their story, woven into the rich tapestry of history, is a tale of mystery, resilience, and cultural richness that deserves to be remembered. Imagine a time thousands of years ago when the air was thick with the scent of earth and the sound of laughter filled the valleys. The Hattians inhabited the land we now call Turkey, their heartland a mosaic of verdant fields and rugged hills. Here they thrived in their own unique way, a people whose identity was shaped by their surroundings, their beliefs, and their interactions with neighboring cultures. The Hattians were not a monolithic society. They were a patchwork of tribes and communities, each with its own customs, dialects, and rituals. They lived in small settlements, often nestled near rivers that provided sustenance and transport. Their connection to the land was profound, and they revered the natural world, believing it was imbued with spirits that influenced their daily lives. This deep-seated spirituality manifested in their art, pottery, and the sacred spaces they created, places where the earthly and the divine intertwined. As we delve into the heart of Hattian life, we discover the essence of their culture. The Hattians were skilled artisans, renowned for their intricate pottery and beautiful textiles. Their artistry was not merely decorative, it served a purpose, telling stories of their gods, their ancestors, and their place in the world. Each piece was a reflection of their beliefs, their struggles, and their triumphs passed down through generations. But who were the gods of the Hattians? Their pantheon was rich and diverse, featuring deities that governed the elements, fertility, and the harvest. They worshipped a mother goddess, a symbol of fertility and life, who held a sacred place in their hearts. Festivals honoring these deities were vibrant, filled with music, dance, and offerings, a celebration of the cyclical nature of existence. The Hattians understood the rhythms of the earth and reveled in the changing seasons, marking time with rituals that bound them to the land and to each other. The Hattians were not isolated. They interacted and traded with their neighbors, including the rising Hittite civilization. This exchange of goods, ideas, and culture enriched their way of life. Yet, as the Hittites grew in power, the Hattians faced challenges that would ultimately shape their destiny. The tides of history are seldom gentle, and as empires rise, others must fall. As we explore the unfolding drama of the ancient world, we witness the Hattians as they navigate a landscape fraught with change. The Hittites, with their military prowess and strategic ambitions, began to encroach upon Hattian territory. What was once a harmonious coexistence turned into a struggle for survival. The Hattians, though resilient and resourceful, found themselves increasingly marginalized. In the face of adversity, the Hattians demonstrated remarkable tenacity. They adapted, merging their cultural practices with those of the Hittites, creating a tapestry of traditions that would ultimately influence the region. This blending was not merely a matter of survival, it was a testament to the Hattians' enduring spirit. They refused to vanish into the shadows of history, instead weaving their identity into the fabric of their conquerors. As the Hittite Empire expanded, so too did the influence of the Hattians. Their language, their customs, and their deities began to permeate Hittite culture, a subtle yet profound imprint left upon the pages of history. The Hattians may have faded from the annals of power, but they did not disappear. Their legacy lived on, quietly shaping the identities of those who came after. Yet, history can be unkind to the forgotten. And as the ages passed, the Hattians became little more than a whisper among the ruins. Their cities, once bustling with life, were abandoned, their stories buried beneath layers of earth and time. Archaeologists and historians would later seek to unearth their legacy, piecing together fragments of their existence from the remnants they left behind. It is through their diligent work that we come to know the Hattians today, not as mere shadows of the past, but as a vibrant people whose contributions to civilization are invaluable. In the midst of our modern lives, we might wonder what lessons the Hattians have to offer us. Their story is one of adaptability and resilience, a reminder that cultures can evolve and endure even in the face of overwhelming change. They teach us that our identities are not static. They are shaped by the world around us, by the people we interact with, and by the stories we share. As we reflect on the Hattians, we are reminded of the importance of remembering those who came before us. Their existence is a testament to the complexity of human history, a mosaic of cultures that have intersected, influenced, and enriched one another. To forget the Hattians is to overlook a vital chapter in the story of humanity, a narrative that continues to unfold in our very lives today. So, as we journey through the pages of history, let us carry the memory of the Hattians with us. Let us honor their legacy, not just as a footnote in the annals of time, but as a vibrant testament to the human spirit. They remind us that even in the face of adversity, creativity, community, and culture can flourish, leaving an indelible mark on the world. In the end, the Hattians were not just a forgotten people. They were a vital piece of the puzzle that is our shared human experience. Their story is a call to remember, to cherish the past, and to recognize the interconnectedness of all cultures that have shaped our world. As we walk through the ruins of history, let us listen to the whispers of the Hattians, for in their silence we can hear the echoes of a rich and vibrant life that once was. In the heart of Anatolia, where the rolling hills cradle the whispers of ancient winds, lies a land steeped in mystique and history, a realm known as Hatti. Before the rise of the Hittites, before the great empires carved their names into the annals of time, there existed a culture that flourished in this rich and fertile expanse. The story of Hatti is not merely one of survival. It is a tapestry woven from the threads of innovation, spirituality, and a deep connection to the land. Imagine a time when the sun rose over the Anatolian plateau, casting golden rays upon a landscape dotted with meandering rivers and lush valleys. This was the land of Hatti, a place where the earth spoke in the voices of its inhabitants, and the mountains stood as silent sentinels to the passage of time. The Hattians, as they called themselves, were a people who understood the rhythms of nature, attuned to the seasons and the cycles of life that flowed around them. The Hattians were not merely farmers and herders, they were artisans and traders, builders of cities and creators of culture. Their society thrived on the fertile soil that surrounded them, which provided an abundance of crops and livestock. As the sun rose high in the sky, the fields would come alive with the colors of ripening grains, while livestock grazed peacefully on the verdant pastures. The harmonious relationship they maintained with their environment was a testament to their understanding of sustainability, a lesson that resonates even today. But it was not just the bounty of the land that defined Hatti. The Hattians were skilled craftsmen, their hands shaping clay and metal into objects of beauty and utility. Pottery adorned with intricate designs, tools forged from bronze, and ornaments that reflected their deep-seated beliefs in the divine filled their homes and sacred spaces. Each creation told a story, a narrative of identity and tradition passed down through generations. The artistry of the Hattians spoke of a people who valued not only functionality, but also the aesthetic expression of their existence. Religion played a central role in the lives of the Hattians, interwoven into the very fabric of their daily routines. They worshipped a pantheon of gods, each representing different aspects of life and nature. Temples dedicated to these deities dotted the landscape, standing as monuments to their faith and devotion. The Hattians believed that the divine was intricately linked to the natural world, and so they crafted rituals and ceremonies to honor the forces that governed their existence. The sounds of prayer and the scent of incense filled the air, creating an atmosphere of reverence that enveloped their communities. In the heart of Hatti, the city of Hattusa would emerge as a focal point of power and influence, a vibrant hub that would later capture the attention of neighboring cultures. But before Hattusa claimed its place in history, the smaller settlements scattered across the region were the true essence of Hatti. Each village, with its unique customs and traditions, contributed to the rich tapestry of Hattian culture. The people gathered for festivals, celebrating the changing seasons and honoring their ancestors, ensuring that the stories of their past lived on in the hearts of their children. As the Hattians navigated the complexities of life, they also engaged in trade with neighboring peoples, forging connections that would shape their destiny. The lush valleys of Anatolia became a crossroads of commerce, where goods flowed like water between cultures. The Hattians exchanged their fine pottery, textiles and metalwork for the grains and resources of the surrounding lands. These interactions not only brought wealth, but also ideas, technologies, and the seeds of innovation that would blossom in the fertile ground of Hatti. Yet the history of Hatti is not solely one of prosperity, it is also a tale of resilience in the face of adversity. As neighboring tribes and emerging powers sought to expand their territories, the Hattians found themselves at a crossroads. The tumult of shifting alliances and the spectre of conflict loomed on the horizon. But the spirit of Hatti was not easily extinguished. The people banded together, drawing strength from their shared heritage and the knowledge passed down through generations. They understood that their identity was not solely defined by their land, but by their unity and their unwavering connection to one another. In the shadows of history, the Hittites began to rise, their ambitions casting a long shadow over the land of Hatti. The two cultures, though distinct, found themselves intertwined in a complex web of diplomacy, trade, and conflict. The Hittites, with their advanced military strategies and administrative prowess, would soon eclipse Hatti, absorbing its people and culture into their own burgeoning empire. Yet, even as the Hittites ascended, the legacy of Hatti would endure, woven into the very fabric of Hittite society. The tales of the Hattians would not be forgotten. They would echo through the ages, a reminder of the resilience of a people who thrived in the face of change. Their innovations in agriculture, their artistry, and their spiritual practices would leave an indelible mark on the civilizations that followed. The gods they worshipped, the festivals they celebrated, and the stories they told would be passed down, becoming the foundation upon which future cultures would build. As we delve into the world of Hatti, we are reminded of the interconnectedness of humanity. The Hattians were not isolated. They were part of a larger narrative that spanned the ancient world. Their story is one of adaptation and transformation, a testament to the enduring spirit of a people who navigated the complexities of life with grace and ingenuity. In the quiet corners of Anatolia, where the echoes of the past still reverberate, we find ourselves drawn to the land of Hatti, a place that embraced the beauty of life and the struggle for survival. Through the lens of their experiences, we glimpse the essence of what it means to be human, to strive, to create, and to connect with the world around us. The legacy of Hatti, rich and vibrant, reminds us that even in the face of change, the spirit of a people can endure, transcending time and space, inviting us to listen to their stories and learn from their journeys. And so, as the sun sets over the rolling hills of Anatolia, casting a warm glow upon the land once known as Hatti, we carry with us the echoes of their existence. Their story, though ancient, continues to inspire us, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring connections that bind us all in this shared journey through time. In the heart of a vast and undulating landscape, adorned with the vibrant hues of nature's palette, lies the story of humanity's earliest ventures into the realm of settled life. This is a tale not merely of survival, but of transformation, connection, and the indomitable spirit of community. Welcome to the story of the first settlements on the plateau, where the seeds of civilization took root, nurtured by the hands of those who dared to dream of a life beyond the confines of wandering. Picture a time long before the conveniences of modern life, a time when the sun rose over a rugged land that stretched endlessly beneath a dome of azure sky. Our ancestors roamed these lands, following the rhythms of the earth and the migration patterns of animals. They were nomads, their lives dictated by the seasons and the availability of food. But within the hearts of these early people, a flickering flame of ambition began to glow. A desire for permanence, for stability, for a place they could call home. As the climate shifted and the seasons began to change, a profound transformation unfolded across the plateau. The fertile soil, enriched by the remnants of ancient glaciers, beckoned the first settlers. They began to understand the secrets of the land, learning to cultivate the crops that would sustain them. Grains sprouted from the earth, and with them the promise of a new way of life. They discovered that by planting seeds and nurturing them, they could harvest the bounty of the land, ensuring that their families would not go hungry. Imagine the first rays of dawn filtering through the trees, illuminating the faces of men, women, and children working side by side. Their laughter mingled with the soft rustle of leaves and the distant call of birds. These were not just individuals. They were a community bound together by shared hopes and dreams. They built their homes of wood and stone, modest dwellings that offered shelter from the elements and a sanctuary for their loved ones. Each structure was a testament to their ingenuity and resilience, crafted with care and a deep respect for the natural world that surrounded them. As the villages began to take shape, so too did the relationships that would define them. The bonds of kinship grew stronger, woven through shared struggles and collective triumphs. They gathered around fires at night, exchanging stories of the day's work, of hunts gone well and crops that flourished. The stories of their ancestors were passed down, a rich tapestry of history that would guide them through the challenges of life. These tales taught the young about the land, the spirits they revered, and the lessons learned from those who walked before them. Among these first settlements, the plateau was alive with activity. The vibrant markets sprang to life, filled with the sounds of bartering and laughter. People exchanged not only goods but ideas, cultures mingling in a symphony of diversity. Each villager brought something unique to the table, a new method of farming, a recipe passed down through generations, or perhaps a craft that would soon become a cherished tradition. As the sun dipped low in the sky, casting long shadows across the earth, the village became a vibrant hub of creativity and collaboration. Yet the journey towards stability was not without its trials. The settlers faced challenges from the very land that nurtured them. Harsh winters could freeze their crops, while droughts threatened their water supply. Predators lurked in the shadows, and rival groups sometimes encroached upon their territory. But with each obstacle, the settlers grew stronger, their resolve tempered like steel. They learned to adapt, to find innovative solutions, and to work together as a unified front. The spirit of cooperation became their greatest asset, forging a bond that could withstand the fiercest storms. With time, the first settlements blossomed into thriving villages, each one a unique reflection of its inhabitants. They cultivated not only the land, but also their identity. Artisans emerged, their hands skilled in the creation of pottery, weaving, and metalwork. The walls of their homes became adorned with intricate designs, symbols that told stories of their experiences and aspirations. Festivals were born from the cycles of the seasons, celebrating the harvest and honoring the spirits of the earth. Music filled the air, echoing the rhythm of life as villagers danced under the stars, their laughter ringing out like a joyous melody. As we delve deeper into this captivating world, we begin to see the emergence of leadership within these settlements. Elders, respected for their wisdom and experience, took on roles as guides and decision-makers. They held councils where voices were heard and decisions were made for the greater good of the community. These gatherings were not mere formalities. They were the lifeblood of the village, where every opinion mattered and every individual contributed to the collective well-being. In the midst of all this growth, spirituality began to weave itself into the fabric of daily life. The settlers looked to the skies, the mountains, and the rivers with reverence. They believed that the land was alive, imbued with spirits that guided and protected them. Rituals emerged, a way to honor the forces of nature and express gratitude for the abundance they received. The drumbeats of ceremonies echoed through the valleys, carrying prayers of hope and thanksgiving. It was a profound connection to the earth, one that would shape their culture for generations to come. As we reflect on this remarkable journey, we cannot overlook the impact these first settlements had on the broader tapestry of human history. They were the crucibles in which the flames of civilization were kindled. The lessons learned, the innovations birthed, and the communities forged in the crucible of the plateau would ripple outwards, influencing neighboring regions and leaving an indelible mark on the story of humankind. The plateau, once merely a backdrop for survival, transformed into a cradle of culture and community. It became a place where humanity found its voice, where individuals united to create something greater than themselves. The legacy of these first settlements is not just one of survival, but of thriving, a testament to the incredible capacity of humans to adapt, innovate, and connect. And so, as we close the chapter on the first settlements on the plateau, we are reminded that the spirit of those early villagers lives on within us. Their dreams, their struggles, and their triumphs echo through the ages, urging us to remember the power of community, the importance of connection, and the beauty of a shared journey. In every village, in every town, and in every city today, we carry forward the lessons of our ancestors, weaving their stories into the rich tapestry of our own lives. Join us as we continue to explore the legacies of these early settlers, unraveling the threads of history that bind us all. For in understanding our past, we illuminate the path forward, ever mindful of the connections that make us human. In the tapestry of human experience, few threads are as vibrant and intricate as those woven by our beliefs in the divine. Welcome, dear listener, to a journey across lands and epochs as we explore the rich and diverse landscape of Earth's religions, where gods, goddesses, and spirits dance through the hearts of millions, guiding them through the mysteries of existence. Imagine, if you will, the dawn of civilization. It is a time when the sun painted the skies with hues of orange and gold, and mankind looked upon the vast expanse of nature with wide-eyed wonder. The mountains towered like ancient sentinels, rivers whispered secrets of the past, and the forests stood thick with the promise of life. In this world, the unknown was both a source of fear and a wellspring of reverence. To navigate this uncharted territory, early humans turned to the divine. In the cradle of civilization, Mesopotamia, the Sumerians gave birth to some of the earliest recorded deities. Picture the ziggurats, their towering structures reaching toward the heavens, dedicated to gods like Anu, the father of the sky, and Enlil, the lord of the wind. These deities were not distant or detached, but rather they were woven into the very fabric of daily life. The Sumerians believed that their gods walked among them, influencing everything from the fertility of the fields to the success of their hunts. Each ritual and prayer was a bridge, an attempt to communicate with these powerful beings who shaped their world. As we journey through time, we find ourselves in ancient Egypt, where the sun rose over the banks of the mighty Nile. Here, The pantheon flourished with gods and goddesses, each embodying the forces of nature and the essence of humanity. Let us pause to admire Ra, the sun god, whose nightly journey through the underworld was a tale of death and rebirth. Or gaze upon Isis, the nurturing mother, who represented magic and fertility, a beacon of hope for the lost and the weary. In the eyes of the Egyptians, these deities were not merely figures of worship. They were an integral part of their identity, shaping their art, their architecture, and their very understanding of life and death. As we wander further across the globe, we arrive in the heart of the Indian subcontinent, where the intricate tapestry of Hinduism unfolds before us. Here, we encounter an array of gods and goddesses, each with their own stories, attributes, and followers. Picture the vibrant festivals, where devotees gather to honor deities like Vishnu, the preserver of the universe, or Shiva, the destroyer, a figure of transformation and renewal. The colorful imagery of these celebrations fills the air with joy and devotion, as chants and offerings create a symphony of faith. Yet Hinduism is not merely about the gods, but also about the spirits that inhabit the world around us. The concept of Brahman, the ultimate reality, weaves through the hearts of believers, reminding them that the divine is not only in the heavens, but also within themselves. The rivers, the mountains, the very earth beneath their feet, all are alive with the essence of the divine, a reminder that everything is interconnected. Moving to the east, we find the rich tapestry of East Asian beliefs. In China, the ancient practice of ancestor worship stands as a testament to the enduring connection between the living and the spirits of those who have passed. Imagine the familial altars adorned with offerings, incense wafting through the air as families honor their ancestors' legacies, seeking guidance and protection. Alongside this, we encounter the Taoist philosophy, where the balance of yin and yang manifests in a pantheon of deities who oversee the harmony of nature and humanity. In Japan, Shintoism breathes life into the landscape, where kami, spirits of nature, reside in the trees, mountains, and rivers. The Shinto shrines, with their striking torii gates, invite visitors to step into a sacred space, where the divine can be felt in the rustle of leaves and the trickle of water. Here, the spirits are not distant. They are companions on the journey of life, deserving of respect and reverence. Now, let's shift our gaze to the Americas, where indigenous cultures have long honored their own pantheons of gods and spirits. In the lush landscapes of the Amazon, the spiritual traditions of the native tribes remind us of the deep connection between humanity and nature. The shaman, a bridge between worlds, calls upon the spirits of the forest, seeking wisdom and healing from the plants and animals that share their home. Each ritual is a testament to the belief that the land is alive, a sacred entity deserving of gratitude and care. As we traverse the vast plains of North America, the Native American tribes offer a glimpse into a world where the Great Spirit watches over all. Here, the earth, sky, and all living beings are intertwined in a web of life, where every rock, every river holds a story, a spirit. Rituals that honor the changing seasons, the cycles of life and death, reflect a profound understanding of the interconnectedness of all things. Let us not forget the rich traditions of Africa, where the diversity of beliefs paints a vivid picture of spirituality. From the ancient gods of the Yoruba, who govern the elements and human destiny, to the ancestral spirits that guide the living, African religions reveal a deep respect for both the seen and the unseen. The drumming, the dancing, the vibrant colors of the ceremonies invite us into a world where the sacred is celebrated in every moment, where the line between the material and the spiritual is beautifully blurred. As we weave our way through the fabric of these varied beliefs, we can't overlook the influence of monotheistic faiths that emerged from the Middle East. In the shadow of ancient temples and bustling markets, the stories of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam unfold. Here we encounter a singular, all-powerful deity, a divine presence that watches over humanity. In the Hebrew Bible, we find the tales of a covenant between God and his people, while the teachings of Jesus in the New Testament emphasize love, compassion, and redemption. Meanwhile, in the Quran, the revelations to the Prophet Muhammad guide millions toward a path of submission to the will of Allah. Yet, even within these traditions, the voices of the divine are many. Saints, prophets, and angels become intermediaries, each playing a role in the vast cosmic drama of faith. The rituals, the prayers, and the communal gatherings serve as touchstones, connecting believers to the divine and to each other, fostering a sense of belonging in a world that often feels chaotic. As we come to the close of our journey, we find ourselves back at the crossroads of belief, where the ancient and the modern converge. The world is a mosaic of faiths, each vibrant tile representing a unique perspective on the divine. The gods, goddesses, and spirits that inhabit these beliefs are reflections of human hopes, fears, and aspirations, a testament to our eternal quest for meaning. In every corner of the earth, from the bustling cities to the quiet villages, the echoes of these beliefs resonate. They guide us through the joys and sorrows of life, offering comfort in times of despair and gratitude in moments of joy. Whether we look to the heavens or the earth, whether we seek the divine in the grand or the humble, we are reminded that the sacred is all around us, waiting to be discovered. As we step back from this exploration, let us carry with us the understanding that while our paths may differ, the search for the divine is a journey shared by all of humanity, a journey filled with wonder, reverence, and the profound realization that we are all part of something greater than ourselves. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the religion of the earth, where gods, goddesses, and spirits beckon us to listen, to learn, and to connect. In the heart of Anatolia, where the majestic mountains rise and the rivers whisper secrets of the past, lies a land steeped in mystery and reverence, the land of the Hattians. This ancient civilization, flourishing long before the rise of their more famous successors, the Hittites, was a tapestry woven with threads of spirituality, culture, and the sacred. Today, we embark on a journey to explore the temples and shrines of the Hattians, those revered spaces that served as conduits between the earthly realm and the divine. Imagine, if you will, the rolling hills and fertile plains of central Anatolia, dotted with the remnants of a civilization that once thrived. The Hattians, a people with a rich tapestry of beliefs and customs, revered their gods with an intensity that echoed through the ages. Their sacred spaces, the temples and shrines, were not merely structures of stone and clay. They were the very heart of Hattian spiritual life, places where the divine touched the mortal. As we wander through the ruins of these ancient sites, we can almost hear the distant chants of priests and the soft rustle of offerings being laid at the feet of stone deities. The Hattians were polytheistic, worshipping a pantheon of gods and goddesses, each embodying various aspects of life and nature. Their temples were designed to honor these divine beings, serving as places of worship, community gathering, and pilgrimage. Let us first journey to the site of the great temple at Hattusa, the heart of Hattian civilization. Here, amidst the towering walls and crumbling stones, lies a sacred space that once resonated with the fervor of devotion. Picture the scene. Priests clad in fine garments, their heads adorned with ceremonial headdresses, leading the faithful in rituals that invoked the favor of the gods. The air is thick with the scent of incense, while the sound of drums and flutes fills the atmosphere, creating an intoxicating blend of reverence and celebration. The architecture of the temple itself tells a story of its own. crafted from massive stones, the structure stands as a testament to the Hattians' skill and devotion. The entrance, flanked by intricately carved reliefs depicting various deities, beckons worshippers to step into a world where the mundane meets the divine. Inside, the Sanctum Sanctorum awaits, a sacred chamber where only the high priest could enter, a place believed to be the dwelling of the god itself. As we delve deeper into the spiritual practices of the Hattians, we discover that their worship was not limited to grand temples alone. The landscape itself was dotted with shrines, smaller, yet equally significant, spaces of worship that offered a more intimate connection to the divine. These shrines were often built in secluded areas, beneath ancient trees or atop scenic hills, where the beauty of nature intertwined with the sacred. Imagine a humble shrine, perhaps dedicated to the goddess of fertility. Here, women would gather, offering fruits, flowers, and prayers, seeking the blessing of abundance and prosperity. The sacred rituals performed at these shrines were deeply personal, a reflection of the hopes and dreams of those who sought solace and guidance. Through these acts of devotion, the Hattians forged a bond with their deities, a connection that transcended the physical realm. The Hattian belief system was rich with symbolism, and their temples and shrines were no exception. Each structure was imbued with meaning, reflecting the values and aspirations of the community. The use of sacred symbols, such as the bull or the crescent moon, adorned the walls and altars, serving as reminders of the divine presence that enveloped their lives. It is said that the bull represented strength and fertility, a potent symbol in a society that depended on agriculture and livestock for survival. As we explore the ruins further, we come across altars, weathered by time yet still bearing witness to the countless offerings made by devoted worshippers. These altars, often made of stone and adorned with intricate carvings, were the focal points of ritualistic practices. Here, animals were sacrificed, grains were poured, and libations were offered, all in the name of appeasing the gods and ensuring favor upon the community. The Hattians also believed in the power of divination, seeking guidance from the divine through various means. Priests would interpret omens, using the flight of birds or the patterns of smoke as a way to discern the will of the gods. The temples, with their sacredness and aura of mystery, served as centers for these practices, where the voices of the divine could be heard amid the chants and prayers. Among the many deities worshipped by the Hattians, one stands out: Telepinu, the god of agriculture and fertility. The rituals performed in his honor were among the most significant, often coinciding with the changing of seasons. As the earth awakened from its winter slumber, the Hattians would gather at their temples, celebrating with feasts and dances, expressing their gratitude for the blessings of the harvest. The bond between the people and their land was palpable, a relationship nourished by faith and reverence. As we draw near to the end of our journey through the sacred spaces of the Hattians, we cannot overlook the role of these temples and shrines in shaping the identity of the community. They were more than mere structures. They were the embodiment of collective beliefs, a reflection of shared values and aspirations. In times of prosperity, they stood as monuments of gratitude, and in times of strife, they became sanctuaries of hope. The legacy of the Hattians, though often overshadowed by their successors, continues to resonate through the ages. The echoes of their prayers, the whispers of their rituals, and the enduring spirit of their sacred spaces remind us of the profound connection between humanity and the divine. As we stand amidst the ruins, we are reminded that these ancient temples and shrines were not just places of worship. They were the very heartbeats of a civilization, pulsating with life, faith, and the unending quest for understanding, a quest that transcends time and space. In the end, the temples and shrines of the Hattians stand as a testament to the enduring spirit of human devotion. They invite us to ponder the mysteries of existence, to reflect on our own beliefs, and to celebrate the sacred spaces that continue to shape our lives today. As we leave the remnants of this ancient civilization behind, we carry with us the echoes of their faith. A reminder that, no matter how far we travel through time, the search for meaning and connection to the divine remains an integral part of the human experience. In the heart of Anatolia, a land steeped in history and myth, there lies a belief system that has persisted through the ages, a reverence for the Mother Goddess. This ancient faith, rooted deeply in the soil of Anatolian culture, speaks to humanity's eternal bond with the earth, fertility, and the nurturing spirit of the divine feminine. Imagine, if you will, rolling hills kissed by the sun, valleys rich with the scent of wildflowers, and rivers that have flowed for millennia. Here, in this vibrant landscape, the people of Anatolia have worshipped a figure who embodies the essence of life itself. She is the Mother Goddess, a symbol of creation, sustenance, and protection. To them, she is not just a deity, she is the very heartbeat of their existence. The story of the Mother Goddess in Anatolia is not just a tale of worship. It is an intricate tapestry woven with threads of mythology, culture, and the daily lives of the people. From the Neolithic period, when early agricultural societies began to settle, we find the earliest traces of this divine feminine presence. Archaeological discoveries at sites like Çatalhöyük reveal figurines and symbols that resonate with the abundance of nature and the earth's fertility. Women, revered for their ability to give life, became the focal points of these early societies, and the Mother Goddess emerged as a powerful figure, embodying fertility, birth, and the cycles of nature. As we delve deeper into the roots of this ancient faith, we discover that the Mother Goddess was not a singular entity, but rather a collection of goddesses, each representing different aspects of life. There was Cybele, the great mother of mountains and wild animals, a fierce protector who roamed the earth with a retinue of lions. There was also the goddess of fertility, who blessed the fields with bountiful harvests and assured the continuation of life. Each goddess served as a reminder of the interconnectedness of life, death, and rebirth, an eternal cycle that echoed through the ages. The worship of these goddesses was not confined to grand temples or sacred spaces alone. It permeated the very fabric of daily life. Villagers would gather during harvest seasons to celebrate the abundance granted by the Mother Goddess. They would dance, sing, and offer their thanks, ensuring that the spirit of the goddess remained entwined with their lives. Rituals often included offerings of grain, fruit, and flowers, sacred tokens of gratitude for the gifts of nature. As centuries passed and civilizations rose and fell, the cult of the Mother Goddess adapted, absorbing influences from neighboring cultures while maintaining its core beliefs. The Hittites, Phrygians, and later the Lydians each brought their own interpretations and expressions of this divine feminine energy. The sacred texts of these cultures reveal that the Mother Goddess was not only a figure of fertility, but also a guardian of the land, a protector of the people. She was invoked for victory in battle, for safety during childbirth, and for the prosperity of crops. The reverence for the Mother Goddess extended beyond the earthly realm. She was seen as a bridge to the divine. People believed that she could intercede on their behalf, guiding them through the challenges of life. In times of uncertainty, her presence provided solace and assurance. As the sun set each evening, casting a warm glow over the fields, families would gather to whisper prayers, seeking her blessing for the night ahead. But the influence of the Mother Goddess was not limited to the physical and spiritual realms. She also played a crucial role in the social structure of Anatolian societies. Women, empowered by their connection to the divine feminine, held significant positions within their communities. They were the keepers of tradition, the healers, and the wise women who passed down knowledge through generations. In a world where patriarchal systems began to take hold, the worship of the Mother Goddess offered a counter-narrative, a celebration of feminine strength and wisdom. As we journey through this tapestry of belief, we encounter the stories of women who were inspired by the Mother Goddess. One such figure is the legendary priestess who served as an intermediary between the goddess and the people. Her life was dedicated to maintaining the rituals and celebrations that honored the divine feminine. She would don elaborate garments adorned with symbols of fertility and abundance, and led the community in ceremonies that echoed through the valleys. In her presence, the people felt a sense of connection to something greater, a reminder that they were part of a larger cosmic dance. However, the rise of new religions and empires brought challenges to the ancient faith of the Mother Goddess. As monotheistic beliefs began to spread throughout the region, the once celebrated figures of the divine feminine were often marginalized or demonized. The stories of the goddesses faded, replaced by narratives that emphasized male deities and patriarchal values. The temples that once echoed with the songs of worship became silent, and the rituals that celebrated the Mother Goddess were relegated to the shadows of history. Yet the spirit of the Mother Goddess could not be extinguished. She lingered in the hearts of the people, woven into the very essence of their culture. Folk tales and traditions continued to reflect her influence, reminding generations of the power of the feminine divine. The cycles of the moon, the changing of the seasons, and the rhythms of life all echoed her presence, a testament to her enduring legacy. In modern times, there has been a resurgence of interest in the cult of the Mother Goddess, as people seek to reclaim the narratives of the past. Scholars, artists, and spiritual seekers have begun to explore the rich tapestry of Anatolian mythology, unearthing the stories and symbols that celebrate the divine feminine. Workshops, gatherings, and rituals are once again being held, honoring the Mother Goddess and recognizing her vital role in the cultural heritage of Anatolia. As we reflect on the roots of this ancient faith, we are reminded that the Mother Goddess is more than a relic of the past. She is a living symbol of resilience, creativity, and the nurturing spirit that exists within us all. In a world that often seeks to divide, the stories of the Mother Goddess unite us, reminding us of our shared humanity and the cycles of life that bind us together. So as we close this chapter on the cult of the Mother Goddess, let us carry her essence with us, a reminder to honor the earth, to celebrate the feminine divine, and to recognize the strength and wisdom that resides within us. In every seed that sprouts, in every child that is born, and in every moment of love and connection, the spirit of the Mother Goddess endures, echoing through the valleys of Anatolia and beyond, whispering to us the timeless tale of life, love, and the sacred feminine. In the heart of the Caribbean, nestled amidst the vibrant hues of emerald green and turquoise blue, lies the enchanting island of Haiti. Known for its rich culture, lush landscapes, and a history steeped in resilience, Haiti has long captured the imagination of those who seek to understand the complexities of its past. Yet, among the many tales that echo through the hills and valleys of this island, one mysterious story remains largely untold: the story of the vanished Hattian tongue. To many, the Hattian tongue is but a whisper carried away by the winds of time, a language that once danced upon the lips of its speakers, now silenced and forgotten. In the era of colonization, as the French laid claim to the thriving sugar plantations of Saint-Domingue, the Hattian language began to fade. It was a time when the island was caught in a whirlwind of conflict and cultural exchange, a melting pot of African, Taino, and French influences. The language, however, was not simply a means of communication. It was a vessel of identity, a rich tapestry woven from the threads of ancestral heritage. Imagine, if you will, the bustling marketplace of Port-au-Prince in the 18th century. The air is thick with the heady scent of spices, the sound of laughter and haggling blending into a vibrant symphony of life. Here, the Hattian tongue flourished, spoken by the indigenous Taino people and their African descendants who had been forcibly brought to the island. This language was a reflection of their collective experience, imbued with the spirit of resistance and survival. Yet, as the island transitioned into the hands of colonial powers, the Hattian language began to lose its foothold. The French, seeking to impose their culture and language upon the island, pushed the indigenous and African languages to the edges, erasing them from the daily lives of the people. The Hattian tongue, once a source of pride and connection, became a casualty of colonial oppression. As we journey deeper into this narrative, we find ourselves in the midst of the Haitian Revolution, a defining moment in history that would forever alter the course of the island. Enslaved Africans rose against their oppressors, fueled by a burning desire for freedom and self-determination. The revolution ignited a fire within the hearts of the people, and as they fought for their liberty, they also fought to reclaim their language and culture. The language, however, was not so easily restored. The scars of colonization ran deep, and in the aftermath of the revolution, the Hattian tongue struggled to find its place in a new reality. The victory over French rule gave birth to a new nation, but the linguistic legacy of the island was in peril. The people of Haiti began to adopt a new language, Creole, a Creole language that emerged from the fusion of French African languages and the remnants of the Hattian tongue. Creole became a symbol of resilience, a testament to the island's ability to adapt and thrive in the face of adversity. Yet, as Creole took center stage, the Hattian tongue was relegated to the shadows, a mere echo of a bygone era. It became a language of mystery, a ghost that haunted the pages of history, waiting to be rediscovered. In the 19th century, as scholars and linguists began to explore the roots of Creole, they stumbled upon tantalizing clues about the Hattian tongue. Fragments of vocabulary, grammar, and syntax emerged from the depths of historical texts, offering glimpses into a language that had once flourished. Yet, the challenge remained: how to piece together the puzzle of a language long forgotten. Enter the dedicated linguists and historians who embarked on a quest to revive the Hattian tongue. Armed with old manuscripts, letters, and oral traditions passed down through generations, they delved into the linguistic tapestry of Haiti. Their mission was not only to reconstruct the Hattian language, but to breathe life into its spirit, a spirit that resonated with the triumphs and struggles of the people who spoke it. As we delve into this journey of revival, we encounter the stories of those who hold the key to the past. Elders of the community, whose memories are etched in the fabric of their lives, share tales of their ancestors speaking a language that captured the essence of their identity. They recount the songs, proverbs, and rituals that were woven into the very fabric of Hattian culture. Each story serves as a thread, binding the present to the past and illuminating the path toward reclaiming the Hattian tongue. Yet, the revival of a language is not without its challenges. The scars of colonization run deep, and the struggle to reclaim the Hattian tongue often intersects with issues of identity, pride, and belonging. For many, the journey to rediscover their linguistic heritage is a profound exploration of self, a quest to reconnect with their roots and honor the legacy of their ancestors. In the 21st century, the movement to revive the Hattian tongue gains momentum. Communities come together, uniting in their efforts to teach the language to younger generations. Schools begin to incorporate elements of the Hattian tongue into their curricula, and cultural festivals celebrate the vibrant tapestry of Haiti's linguistic heritage. Social media platforms become a virtual gathering place for those passionate about reviving the language, sharing stories, songs, and resources, a digital renaissance of the Hattian tongue. As we reflect on this journey, we are reminded that the story of the Hattian tongue is not just about the words that once filled the air. It is about the spirit of a people who refuse to let their history be forgotten. It is a testament to the power of language as a connector, a bridge that spans generations and cultures. The revival of the Hattian tongue echoes the resilience of the Haitian people, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, the human spirit can rise, reclaiming its voice and celebrating its identity. In the end, the vanished Hattian tongue is not truly vanished. It lives on in the hearts of those who seek to remember, to honor, and to revive. As we close this chapter of our exploration, we invite you to carry with you the stories of the Hattian tongue. Let them resonate within you, a reminder of the unbreakable bond between language, culture, and identity. A bond that transcends time and space, forever woven into the rich tapestry of humanity. In the heart of every culture lies a profound connection to the cycles of life, a deep-rooted acknowledgement of the forces that govern existence. This connection manifests itself in symbols and rites, particularly those associated with fertility and renewal. As we embark on this journey through the fascinating world of rituals, we will uncover the age-old traditions that celebrate the blossoming of life, the cyclical nature of seasons, and the profound hope that springs eternal within the human spirit. Imagine a lush, green landscape awakening from the slumber of winter. The air is thick with anticipation, as tiny buds begin to break through the frost, heralding the arrival of spring. It is during this season of rebirth that cultures around the world engage in rituals steeped in symbolism, designed to invoke fertility and ensure the prosperity of both people and land. These rituals are not mere celebrations, they are sacred acts of devotion woven into the very fabric of societal identity. In ancient times, when the survival of a clan depended on the success of their crops, fertility rites were paramount. These rituals often revolved around the earth's natural cycles, and the reverence for the soil was palpable. As the first shoots of green appeared, communities would gather to honor the deities believed to oversee the fertility of the land. In many cultures, these deities took the form of earth goddesses, figures embodying the nurturing essence of the soil. They were invoked through songs, dances, and offerings, celebrating the marriage between heaven and earth, between the divine and the mundane. Imagine a village coming alive with vibrant colors as people don elaborate costumes adorned with flowers and symbols of fertility. They paint their faces with ochre and clay, transforming themselves into living embodiments of the earth's bounty. The air is filled with the rhythm of drums, the laughter of children, and the eager chatter of adults, all coming together in a sacred dance that mirrors the very cycles of nature. This is not just a performance, it is a communal act of faith, a collective prayer for renewal, prosperity, and the continuation of life. In different corners of the world, similar ceremonies unfold, each infused with unique cultural elements, yet echoing the same fundamental truths. In the Mediterranean, for instance, the ancient Greeks celebrated the fertility of the land through the worship of Demeter, the goddess of agriculture. The Eleusinian Mysteries, a series of initiation ceremonies held in her honor, illustrated the deep connection between death and rebirth, a theme that resonates across various cultures. Participants would descend into the earth, symbolizing the darkness of winter, only to emerge renewed and enlightened, much like the first flowers of spring breaking through the thawing ground. As we journey to the heart of Africa, we discover the vibrant rituals of the Yoruba people, who celebrate fertility through the worship of Oshun, the goddess of rivers and fertility. Her essence flows through the very life force of the earth, and her followers engage in colorful festivals that honor her spirit. The rhythmic beats of drums summon her presence, while dancers adorned in flowing garments mimic the movements of water, embodying the fluidity and abundance she represents. Offerings of fruits, honey, and vibrant fabrics are laid at the river's edge, a testament to the people's gratitude for the blessings of fertility and life. In the Americas, indigenous cultures have long recognized the sacredness of the land, giving rise to a plethora of fertility rituals that celebrate the interconnectedness of all living beings. The ancient Pueblo peoples of the Southwest would perform the snake dance, a powerful ritual invoking the spirit of the snake, a symbol of life and renewal. With each twist and turn, the dancers would mimic the movement of the serpent, honoring the earth's cycles and the vital role of water in sustaining life. It was a dance of gratitude, a plea for balance, and a celebration of the life-giving forces of nature. As we delve deeper into the symbolism of fertility, we encounter the sacred union of the masculine and feminine energies, a theme that transcends cultures. In many traditions, the earth is seen as a mother, nurturing and sustaining life, while the sky represents the father, providing the vital rain necessary for growth. This duality is celebrated through various rites that symbolize their harmonious interdependence. The ancient Egyptians, for example, celebrated the union of the god Osiris and the goddess Isis, whose love story epitomizes the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Their annual reenactments, filled with drama and passion, underscored the importance of fertility and the hope for successful harvests. In contrast, some cultures emphasize the role of the individual in the fertility rites, where personal transformation is as significant as communal celebration. In certain Native American tribes, initiation ceremonies for young women mark their transition into adulthood and their newfound capacity to nurture life. These rites often involve a period of solitude in nature where the initiate communes with the spirits of the land, seeking wisdom and guidance. Upon their return, they are embraced by the community, not only as individuals but as vital contributors to the cycle of life, embodying the potential for creation and renewal. As the seasons shift, so too do the rituals. The harvest season, often a time of great celebration, embodies the fruits of the labor and the cyclical return of life. Communities gather to give thanks for the abundance received, engaging in feasts that honor the earth's generosity. In many cultures, these harvest festivals are steeped in symbolism, with rituals invoking the spirits of ancestors who watched over the land. It is a moment of reflection, gratitude, and a reaffirmation of the bond between past and present, a connection that transcends time. Amidst these celebrations, the symbols of fertility and renewal are ever present. From the simple act of planting seeds to the intricate designs of ceremonial pottery, every element carries meaning. The egg, a universal symbol of potential and new life, appears in various traditions, often associated with spring festivals. The ancient Persians celebrated Nowruz, the arrival of spring, by decorating eggs as a symbol of fertility and renewal, a practice that continues in many cultures today. As we reflect on the rituals of fertility and renewal, we recognize their timeless relevance. In a world that often feels disconnected from nature, these rites serve as a reminder of our intrinsic ties to the earth and to one another. They invite us to honor the cycles of life, to celebrate the miracles of creation, and to acknowledge the hope that springs from the depths of our beings. The rituals we have explored are not relics of the past. They resonate in our modern lives, urging us to reconnect with the rhythms of nature. Whether through personal practices of gratitude or communal celebrations of life, the essence of fertility and renewal remains a vital force. As we continue to navigate the complexities of our existence, let us remember the power of symbols and rites to heal, to transform, and to remind us of the beauty inherent in the cycles of life. In every seed that is planted, in every dance that is performed, in every prayer that is whispered, we find the essence of our shared humanity, a testament to our enduring connection with the earth and the hope that life will continue to bloom in all its glorious forms. As we close this chapter on symbols and rites, let us carry forward the lessons learned, embracing the fertility of our imaginations and the renewal of our spirits, ever grateful for the life that surrounds us. In the heart of the ancient world, where the sun kissed the rolling hills and the rivers flowed with purpose, lay a land that would shape the very foundations of civilization, Anatolia. Today, we embark on a journey back in time, through the rugged landscapes and fertile plains of early Anatolia, to explore the lives of its inhabitants. This was a time when survival hinged on the delicate balance of farming, herding, and the artisanship of crafting, intertwining in a rich tapestry of human endeavor. Imagine, if you will, the dawn of a new day. The sun rises over the Anatolian plateau, casting golden light on the dew-kissed grasses. The air is fresh, filled with the earthy scent of soil and the distant call of birds heralding the arrival of a new day. For the early Anatolians, this was not just another day, it was a continuation of a legacy that would echo through the ages. In these early times, humanity stood on the brink of monumental change. Gone were the days of nomadic hunting and gathering, as the people of Anatolia began to cultivate the land, learning the sacred art of farming. As they tilled the soil, a harmonious relationship with the earth blossomed. They planted grains, wheat and barley, staples that would sustain them through seasons of plenty and drought. Each seed sown was a promise of nourishment, a testament to their growing understanding of the cycles of nature. Picture the farmers, their hands calloused and worn, working side by side in the fields. They wielded simple tools made from stone and wood, shaping the land with care. Their laughter mingled with the rustling of the wind, creating a symphony of life that resonated across the plains. With every harvest, they celebrated not just the yield, but the very essence of community. For in this dance with the earth, they found a deeper connection to one another, a bond forged in the shared struggle of cultivation. But farming was just one thread in the intricate fabric of early Anatolian life. As the sun arched high in the sky, casting long shadows over the fields, herding became a vital pursuit. The vast expanse of Anatolia, with its rolling hills and rugged terrain, provided an ideal habitat for livestock. Sheep and goats roamed freely, their woolly coats a testament to the skill of the herders who tended to them. Imagine the shepherds, clad in simple tunics, guiding their flocks through the sun-drenched hills, their calls echoing in the valleys. These herders were not merely caretakers of animals, they were custodians of a way of life that transcended mere survival. They understood the rhythms of the seasons, the patterns of migration, and the needs of their flocks. As they watched over their animals, they forged a deep bond with them, recognizing the intrinsic value they brought to their lives. The wool became a source of warmth, the milk a sustenance, and the meat a feast that would nourish families during harsh winters. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the landscape, another aspect of Anatolian life came to the forefront: craftsmanship. In the villages dotting the countryside, skilled artisans honed their crafts, transforming raw materials into objects of beauty and utility. The clinking of tools against stone and wood filled the air as potters shaped clay into vessels that would hold the bounties of the harvest, while weavers created intricate textiles that told stories of their people. Imagine entering a workshop where the air is thick with the smell of earth and smoke. Here, a potter spins a wheel, his hands deftly molding the clay as it takes shape. Each piece tells a story of the land, of the people, of the daily rituals that defined their existence. The pots, adorned with simple yet elegant designs, would serve not only as containers, but as symbols of identity, each one carrying the mark of the artisan. Meanwhile, in another corner of the village, a weaver sits at her loom, her fingers moving gracefully as she creates patterns that reflect the vibrant life around her. The colors of the threads mirror the landscape, the rich browns of the earth, the deep greens of the fields, and the bright yellows of the sun. With each pass of the shuttle, she weaves not just fabric, but the very essence of her community's spirit, capturing moments of joy, sorrow, and celebration. Yet these artisans were not isolated in their pursuits. They were part of a larger network of trade and exchange, as the early Anatolians began to forge connections beyond their immediate surroundings. As surplus grains and crafted goods flowed through pathways that crisscrossed the land, so too did ideas, cultures, and innovations. This exchange was not merely transactional. It was a sharing of dreams and aspirations, a testament to the shared humanity that transcended borders. As we delve deeper into the lives of these early Anatolians, we discover the profound impact of their environment on their way of life. The diverse landscapes, from the lush valleys to the arid steppes, shaped not only their agricultural practices, but also their cultural identities. Each region had its own unique customs, beliefs, and traditions, rooted in the land that sustained them. Festivals celebrated the harvest, rituals honored the spirits of the earth, and music filled the air, echoing the heartbeats of a people deeply connected to the world around them. In this vibrant tapestry of life, the resilience of the early Anatolians shines through. They faced challenges, droughts, floods, and the ever-present struggle for survival, yet they persevered. Their ingenuity and adaptability allowed them to thrive in a world that was often unpredictable. They learned to store grains for the lean months, to rotate crops, to preserve the soil, and to work together as a community, pooling their resources and knowledge for the greater good. As night fell and the stars blanketed the sky, families gathered around fires, sharing stories and passing down the wisdom of generations. In these moments of connection, they reflected on their lives, the triumphs and trials, the joys and sorrows. The flickering flames illuminated their faces, revealing a shared humanity that transcended time. They were not just farmers, herders, or artisans. They were dreamers, storytellers, and builders of a legacy that would endure long after their time. And so, in this land of Anatolia, we find not just a history of farming, herding, and crafting, but a celebration of life itself. It is a story of resilience, creativity, and the unbreakable bonds that tie us to each other and the earth we inhabit. As we step back into the present, let us carry forward the lessons learned from these early Anatolians. The importance of community, the value of our craft, and the profound connection we share with the land. In doing so, we honor their legacy and reaffirm our place in the ongoing story of humanity. In the cradle of civilization, where the great rivers Euphrates and Tigris wove their serpentine paths across arid landscapes, lay Mesopotamia, a land rich in history, culture, and innovation. It was here, amid the flourishing cities of Ur, Babylon, and Nineveh, that humanity first embraced the intricate dance of trade and exchange. As we embark on this journey through time, allow me to guide you into the bustling marketplaces, the exchange of goods and ideas, and the vibrant tapestry of life that emerged from this ancient civilization. Imagine standing in a sun-drenched bazaar, the air thick with the scent of spices, textiles, and the earthy aroma of clay. Merchants shout above the clamor, their voices rising like a symphony, each note punctuated by the jingle of coins and the rustle of woven baskets. Here, in this lively marketplace, the heartbeat of Mesopotamian trade pulses with energy. It is a scene that captures the spirit of an era defined by innovation, ambition, and connection. Trade in Mesopotamia was not merely a means of acquiring goods. It was a vital lifeline that linked communities, cultures, and regions. The people of this land understood that their prosperity depended on the exchange of resources. From the fertile plains of Sumer, they harvested grains, barley, and wheat, staples that would nourish not just their own bellies, but also those of distant lands. These grains, stored in clay silos, would later find their way into the hands of traders who ventured far beyond the borders of Mesopotamia. As we follow the paths of these traders, we discover a world where rivers served not just as waterways, but as arteries of commerce. Wooden boats laden with goods drifted along the Euphrates, transporting precious cargo to cities like Babylon, where the demand for products was insatiable. The Mesopotamians, skilled in navigation, understood the rhythms of the river, using seasonal floods to their advantage. They harnessed the power of water, connecting their cities to the vast network of trade that spanned the region. The exchange of goods was a dance, an intricate choreography that involved not only local markets, but also distant lands. From the mountains of Anatolia came timber and metals, vital resources that fueled the fires of craftsmanship. The lush valleys of the Levant contributed with their textiles, dyed in vibrant hues that adorned the garments of the wealthy and the common alike. Mesopotamia, in its thirst for novelty, became a melting pot of cultures, where ideas flowed as freely as commodities. But trade was not confined to material goods. It was a conduit for ideas, beliefs, and knowledge. The cuneiform script, inscribed on clay tablets, emerged as a revolutionary means of communication. Merchants and scribes recorded transactions, creating a written history that would transcend time. Through trade, the Mesopotamians shared their innovations in agriculture, mathematics, and astronomy, sowing the seeds of knowledge that would nourish future civilizations. As we delve deeper into the lives of these traders, we encounter the figure of the merchant, a vital player in this interconnected world. Picture him, a shrewd individual, adept at negotiation, navigating the delicate balance between supply and demand. He traveled not just for profit, but also for the thrill of discovery. Each journey was a quest, a chance to encounter new cultures and forge alliances. The merchant understood that relationships were as valuable as the goods he carried. In the heart of trade lay the concept of value, a notion that transcended mere currency. The Mesopotamians utilized a system of barter, exchanging goods directly. A farmer might trade a bushel of barley for a beautifully crafted pottery piece, while a weaver could barter a vibrant tapestry for a string of rare beads. It was an intricate web of reciprocity, where trust and reputation were paramount. The marketplace was not just a venue for transactions, it was a stage for human connection. Yet, not all was harmonious in this vibrant world. As trade flourished, so too did conflicts arise. The thirst for resources often led to tensions between neighboring city-states. The competition for control over trade routes and access to precious materials ignited disputes that echoed through the annals of history. Empires rose and fell, shaped by the ebb and flow of commerce. The very act of trade became intertwined with power politics, as rulers sought to dominate the lucrative exchanges that defined their economies. In this era, the invention of currency marked a turning point in Mesopotamian trade. The first coins, minted from valuable metals, became symbols of wealth and power. No longer confined to the limitations of barter, the merchant now carried a tangible representation of value, allowing for transactions that transcended borders and cultures. The introduction of currency simplified trade and opened new avenues for economic expansion, propelling Mesopotamia into a new age of prosperity. As we traverse the landscape of Mesopotamian trade, we cannot ignore the role of religion in shaping commerce. Temples served not only as places of worship, but also as economic centers. The priests, wielding both spiritual and temporal power, managed vast estates and facilitated trade. Offerings made to the gods were often exchanged for goods, intertwining the sacred and the secular. In the eyes of the Mesopotamians, prosperity was a divine blessing, a reflection of the favor bestowed upon them by their gods. Through trade, the Mesopotamians forged connections that would echo through time. They established trade routes that linked them to the Indus Valley, Egypt, and even distant lands beyond the Mediterranean. The Silk Road, though centuries away, had its precursors in the bustling pathways of Mesopotamian traders who carried not just commodities, but also stories, myths, and dreams. As we draw this journey to a close, let us reflect on the legacy of trade and exchange in Mesopotamia. It was a world where connections were forged through the sharing of goods, where the pulse of the marketplace resonated with the stories of countless lives. The Mesopotamians understood that trade was not merely about commerce. It was a celebration of humanity's capacity to connect, to innovate, and to dream. In the whispers of the Euphrates and the echoes of ancient bazaars, we find the essence of our shared history. The tale of Mesopotamian trade and exchange is a testament to the enduring spirit of collaboration, a story that continues to unfold in our modern world, where the principles of trade bind us together, reminding us that, in the grand tapestry of existence, we are all interconnected. In the cradle of civilization, where the sun rises over the rugged mountains and the valleys cradle the whispers of ancient peoples, lies a land that once thrummed with life and ambition, Hatti, the domain of the Hittites. Here, amidst the echoes of time, we embark on a journey into the heart of the ancient world, exploring the rise of city-states that became the power centers of Hatti. Imagine a time over 3,000 years ago, around the 17th century BCE, when the landscapes of Anatolia were dotted with bustling settlements. These early city-states, each with their own unique identities, were not merely collections of mud brick houses and temples. They were vibrant hubs of culture, commerce, and power. At the core of this burgeoning civilization was Hattusa, the capital of the Hittite Empire, a place where the ambitions of kings and the aspirations of the people intertwined. As the sun peaks over the horizon, bathing Hattusa in a golden light, we can almost hear the sounds of daily life. The marketplace is alive with the chatter of vendors hawking their wares, pottery, textiles, and grains, all traded by merchants who traveled across vast distances. The air is thick with the scent of spices and freshly baked bread, a testament to the thriving economy that flourished within the walls of the city. But Hattusa was not alone in its splendor. Scattered throughout the region were other significant city-states, each contributing to the rich tapestry of Hittite civilization. We turn our gaze to Kanish, a city that held a strategic position along trade routes, connecting the heart of Hatti to the outside world. Here, merchants exchanged not just goods, but ideas, forming a melting pot of cultures that would influence the very fabric of Hittite society. In this age, the city-states were not just economic centers, they were also bastions of political power. The rulers of these cities, known as kings and warlords, commanded respect and loyalty from their subjects. They built grand palaces adorned with intricate carvings that depicted their victories in battle and their divine right to rule. These structures were more than mere homes. They were symbols of authority, showcasing the might and majesty of the Hittite kings. As we delve deeper into the lives of the people, we find that religion played a pivotal role in their existence. The Hittites were polytheistic, worshipping a pantheon of deities who governed various aspects of life, from agriculture to war. Temples dedicated to these gods rose majestically within city walls, becoming focal points for communal gatherings and rituals. The priests, wielding both spiritual and temporal power, were indispensable to the functioning of society. mediating between the divine and the mortal. Yet, the rise of city-states was not without its challenges. As power became concentrated in the hands of a few, rivalries began to brew. The landscape of Hatti, once a patchwork of cooperation, transformed into a chessboard of ambition and conflict. City-states sought to expand their territories, forging alliances and engaging in warfare to assert dominance over one another. The relentless struggle for power shaped the destiny of Hatti, leading to both the unification and division of its people. Amidst this backdrop, we encounter the legendary figure of Suppiluliuma Fuerst, a king whose reign marked a turning point in the history of the Hittite Empire. With a keen military mind and a vision for expansion, he sought to unite the fragmented city-states under one banner. His campaigns took him far beyond the borders of Hatti, as he conquered neighboring lands and brought them into the fold of his growing empire. The very name of Suppiluliuma became synonymous with strength and ambition, as he forged a legacy that would echo through the ages. But the rise of city-states also birthed a new era of diplomacy. As the Hittites expanded their influence, they engaged in complex treaties and alliances, not just through warfare, but through negotiation. The famous Treaty of Kadesh, signed between the Hittites and the Egyptians, stands as a testament to this evolving political landscape. In a world where might often dictated terms, here was a moment when the power of words and agreements held sway. As we wander through the ruins of Hattusa today, we can almost feel the pulse of history beneath our feet. The remnants of fortifications, the intricacies of the rock-carved reliefs, and the silent stones of temples whisper tales of a civilization that once thrived on ambition and ingenuity. It is a reminder that the rise of city-states was not merely about power. It was about the people who lived, loved, and dreamed within those walls. Through the lens of time, we glimpse the everyday life of the Hittites. Families gathered around fires, sharing stories of their ancestors, passing down knowledge and traditions from generation to generation. The bonds of community were strong, and despite the political machinations that unfolded around them, the heart of Hatti beat with resilience and hope. As we draw our narrative to a close, we reflect on the legacy of the city-states of Hatti. Their rise was marked by triumphs and trials, shaping the course of history for centuries to come. The echoes of their ambitions continue to resonate, reminding us that the pursuit of power, culture, and connection is a timeless endeavor. In the end, the story of Hatti is not just about the cities that once stood proud against the skyline of Anatolia. It is about the people who breathed life into those structures, who carved their destinies into the annals of time. As we walk away from the ruins, we carry with us the knowledge that the rise of city-states was a tale of human spirit, a narrative woven through the ages, a testament to our enduring quest for belonging, identity, and greatness. In the heart of Hatti, where the past and present intertwine, we find that the story is far from over. The rise of city-states stands as a chapter in the grand saga of humanity, an invitation to explore the depths of our shared history and to continue the journey forward, ever curious about where our own ambitions may lead. In the annals of human history, the tapestry of social order is woven with the threads of power, belief, and sustenance. Today, we embark on a journey through time, exploring the intricate relationships between chiefs, priests, and farmers, the three pillars that have shaped societies across continents and epochs. Picture a world where the lush fields meet the sacred temples, where the authority of leaders intersects with the spirituality of the divine, and where the toil of farmers provides the very foundation of life itself. As the sun rises over the horizon, casting a golden glow on the fields, we find ourselves in the heart of a bustling community. Here, the farmers awaken before dawn, the air crisp with the promise of a new day. Armed with simple tools and unwavering determination, these men and women labor to cultivate the earth. They are the unsung heroes of civilization, the backbone of society, whose hard work ensures that the people are fed and nourished. But the world of the farmer is one of complexity, intertwined with the realms of authority and spirituality. In many cultures, the chief stands as the sentinel of the community. A figure of leadership, they wield power not just through force, but through a deep-rooted connection with their people. The chief is more than a ruler. They are a custodian of tradition, a mediator of disputes, and a guardian of the land. Their decisions shape the lives of farmers, determining when to plant, when to harvest, and how to distribute resources. Yet, the chief's authority is often intertwined with the sacred. Enter the priest, a figure cloaked in the mystique of the divine. In ancient societies, priests served as intermediaries between the gods and the people. They held the knowledge of rituals, the power of prayer, and the ability to invoke blessings upon the crops. The priest's role was essential in ensuring that the harvests were bountiful, for it was believed that the gods had to be appeased for the land to yield its fruits. Imagine a scene in a vibrant village where the chief convenes a gathering. The villagers, adorned in colorful garments, come together, their faces reflecting hope and anticipation. The chief speaks with authority, outlining plans for the upcoming planting season. Yet, before the earth is disturbed, the priest steps forward, invoking prayers to the spirits of the land. The villagers listen intently, their hearts united in faith as they seek divine favor for their toil. The bond between the chief and the priest is palpable, a dance of power and belief that ensures the survival of the community. As the seasons change, so does the rhythm of life. The farmers toil under the sun, their hands calloused and strong, nurturing the crops that will sustain them. Each seed sown is a promise, a hope for the future. They work in harmony with the cycles of nature, guided by the wisdom passed down through generations. Yet, their labor is not without challenges. Droughts, pests, and storms can wreak havoc on their fields, and in these moments of uncertainty, the chief and the priest become their lifelines. In times of crisis, the chief rallies the community, urging them to come together and support one another. They embody resilience, reminding the farmers of their strength and unity. The priest, too, plays a crucial role during these trying times. They lead ceremonies to seek divine intervention, calling upon the spirits to bless the land with rain and protection. The villagers gather in prayer, their voices rising in unison, a testament to their unwavering faith. But what of the power dynamics at play? The relationship between chiefs, priests, and farmers is not merely one of collaboration. It is a complex web of hierarchy and influence. In many societies, the chief often holds the ultimate authority, but their power is bolstered by the spiritual validation provided by the priest. This symbiotic relationship creates a social order that is both respected and revered. Farmers, while essential to the community, may find their voices overshadowed by the leaders and the priests. Yet history has shown us that this order is not immutable. As societies evolve, so too do the roles of these figures. In some cultures, the rise of agricultural innovations has empowered farmers, granting them a voice in decision-making processes. The chief's authority may wane in the face of modern governance, while the priest's influence may shift as new belief systems emerge. Imagine a village where the winds of change are blowing. The farmers, equipped with new techniques and knowledge, begin to challenge the status quo. They convene their own meetings, discussing sustainable practices and equitable distribution of resources. The chief, sensing this shift, must adapt. The priest, too, finds themselves in a position to either support this transformation or resist it, clinging to traditional ways. As we delve deeper into this narrative, we must acknowledge the stories of women within this social order. In many cultures, women have been the backbone of agriculture, yet their contributions have often gone unrecognized. While the chief and priest are predominantly male figures, Women farmers, healers, and spiritual leaders have played integral roles in sustaining communities. Their voices, though sometimes marginalized, carry the wisdom of generations intertwined with the very fabric of social order. In our exploration, we also encounter the ripple effects of colonization and globalization, as foreign powers sought to impose their own systems of governance and belief. The delicate balance between chiefs, priests, and farmers was disrupted. Traditional structures were challenged, leading to resistance but also adaptation. The stories of these communities are rich with resilience as they navigate the complexities of a changing world while striving to preserve their identities. As we near the conclusion of our journey, let us reflect on the enduring legacy of chiefs, priests, and farmers. Their relationships have shaped civilizations, influencing the very essence of social order. The intertwining of power, spirituality, and sustenance continues to resonate in our modern world. In many societies today, we still see echoes of this ancient triad: leaders guiding communities, spiritual figures offering solace and guidance, and farmers nurturing the land. As the sun sets on our narrative, casting a warm glow over the fields, we are reminded that the stories of chiefs, priests, and farmers are not just relics of the past. They are living legacies that inform our understanding of community, authority, and the sacredness of the earth. In honoring these relationships, we find a deeper appreciation for the intricate dance of social order that has persisted through the ages, a testament to the resilience of humanity and the unyielding bonds that unite us all. In the annals of history, there exists a captivating chapter dedicated to the strategies of warfare and defense, a realm where valor battles against treachery and where the very fate of empires hangs in the balance. This is the tale of enemies at the gates. As the sun sets on a placid landscape, we are transported to the heart of conflict, where the echoes of clashing swords and the cries of the fallen reverberate through the ages. Imagine, if you will, a fortified city standing resolute against the tide of invaders. Its walls, tall and unyielding, are more than just stones piled upon one another. They are a testament to the ingenuity of those who built them and the determination of those who defend them. A garrison of brave souls stands vigilant atop these battlements, their eyes scanning the horizon for any sign of the enemy. In this world of warfare, every heartbeat is a countdown, every breath a prayer for survival. The concept of defending one's home has been etched in the fabric of human history since time immemorial. As ancient as the first settlements, the need to protect what is ours has led to the rise of countless fortifications, each one a sanctuary against the chaos that lurks just beyond the walls. From the towering citadels of Mesopotamia to the intricate castles of medieval Europe, these strongholds symbolize humanity's resilience against the forces that seek to extinguish the light of civilization. Yet, while fortifications serve as bastions of safety, the art of warfare is as much about offense as it is about defense. The strategies employed in the heat of battle often dictate the outcome of conflicts, leading armies to victory or defeat. As we delve deeper into the narrative of warfare, we encounter the brilliant minds who have shaped military tactics throughout history. They are the architects of strategy, the thinkers who envision the battlefield as a chessboard, each piece a soldier, each move a calculated risk. Consider for a moment the legendary general Sun Tzu, whose ancient treatise, The Art of War, has transcended time and culture. His insights into the nature of conflict reveal that knowledge and understanding of one's enemy can be just as powerful as swords and shields. "Know your enemy and know yourself," he famously stated, "and you can fight 100 battles without disaster." This wisdom has resonated through the ages, guiding military leaders and strategists as they navigate the treacherous waters of warfare. As we explore this complex tapestry of conflict, we encounter the pivotal moments that have defined nations. The Peloponnesian War, a protracted struggle between Athens and Sparta, serves as a poignant example of how warfare can transform societies. On the surface, this conflict was a battle for supremacy in the Greek world, but beneath it lay deeper currents of power, ideology, and ambition. The struggle for dominance not only reshaped the political landscape, but also led to profound changes in the very fabric of Athenian democracy and Spartan militarism. Yet, even as armies clash, the spirit of humanity often shines through the darkness of war. Stories emerge of unexpected alliances, of kindness in the face of cruelty, of soldiers laying down their arms to assist the wounded. These moments remind us that even in the throes of conflict, the essence of humanity endures. As we witness the carnage of battle, we are also reminded of the fragile bonds that connect us all, bonds that can withstand the trials of time and turmoil. Moving forward in our narrative, we find ourselves in the midst of the siege of Constantinople, a defining moment in the annals of warfare. The year is 1453, and the great city stands as the last bastion of the Byzantine Empire, its walls thick with history and its heart beating with the hopes of its people. Outside these walls, the Ottoman forces gather, their banners snapping in the wind, a tide of determination swelling with each passing day. As the siege begins, the defenders, led by the courageous Emperor Constantine XI, brace themselves for the onslaught. The walls of Constantinople have withstood centuries of attacks, but now they face a formidable foe armed with relentless cannons and a hunger for conquest. The sound of thunderous artillery reverberates through the city, shaking its very foundations. The defenders, their spirits buoyed by the echoes of their ancestors, rally together, vowing to protect their home at all costs. In the face of overwhelming odds, the defenders employ tactics that speak to the ingenuity of human spirit. They use the very architecture of the city to their advantage, maneuvering within the narrow streets and alleyways, turning the environment into an ally. Each stone, each corner, becomes a potential vantage point for ambushes, a testament to the creativity that flourishes when survival is at stake. Yet, the siege wears on, and hope begins to wane. The tension mounts as the enemy breaches the outer walls, and the defenders are pushed back into the heart of the city. It is a moment that captures the essence of desperation and resolve, where every soldier fights not just for their own life, but for the legacy of a civilization that has flourished for over 1,000 years. The clash of steel and the cries of the fallen fill the air as the final stand ensues. This battle is not merely a fight for land, it is a struggle for identity, for culture, for the soul of a city that has served as a bridge between East and West. The defenders, cornered yet unyielding, embody the spirit of those who have fought before them. They become a symbol of resistance against the relentless march of time, a reminder that in the face of certain defeat, courage can still shine brightly. As the dust settles and the echoes of battle fade into memory, we reflect on the lessons learned from those who stood firm at the gates. The story of enemies at the gates is not merely a tale of warfare. It is a testament to the human spirit, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope can flicker like a beacon in the night. The struggles of the past inform our present, guiding us as we navigate our own challenges, reminding us that the fight for what we hold dear is a battle worth waging. As we close the chapter on this narrative of warfare and defense, we carry with us the stories of those who faced insurmountable odds and emerged, if not victorious, then undeniably human. Their sacrifices and struggles remind us that history is not simply a collection of dates and events. It is a living tapestry woven from the threads of human experience. The fight continues, echoing through time, urging us to stand firm at our own gates, ready to defend what we cherish most. In the heart of the ancient Hattian lands, nestled between the soaring peaks of the Taurus Mountains and the fertile plains of Anatolia, there lies a tapestry of myths and legends that whisper tales of creation and celestial fury. These stories, etched into the minds of the Hattian people, reveal not just the origins of the world, but also the very essence of human existence interwoven with the divine. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow across the land, the first threads of creation began to unravel. In the beginning, there was only the vastness of the cosmos, a swirling void filled with the potential for life. Out of this infinite nothingness emerged the primordial entities, the earth, known as Kshur, and the sky, revered as Anu. Their union was a cosmic dance, a rhythm that pulsed through the universe, a melody that would give rise to all creation. From the embrace of earth and sky, the first beings came forth, mighty gods and goddesses whose powers shaped the world. Among them was the storm god, Tahun, a figure of immense strength and authority, often imaged wielding a thunderbolt, his voice rumbling like distant thunder. Tahun was not just a deity of storms, he was a protector of the realm, a fierce warrior who battled chaos and darkness, ensuring that balance prevailed. As the Hattians gathered around their communal fires, sharing stories and laughter, they spoke of the moment when Tahun unleashed his fury upon the world. It was a time when chaos reigned, when monstrous serpents and terrible beasts roamed the earth, threatening to tear apart the delicate fabric of creation. The people trembled at the thought of this great upheaval, for they believed that the storms were not merely natural disasters but divine messages, harbingers of both destruction and rebirth. In those tales, the storm god's battles were legendary. He faced the great serpent, Iluyanka, a creature of unimaginable power that coiled around the foundations of the earth itself. The Hattians recounted how Tahun, with his thunderous roar, challenged Iluyanka to a duel. The skies darkened, and the winds howled as the two titans clashed in a ferocious tempest. With each strike of Tahun's lightning, the earth trembled and the heavens rumbled in response. The battle raged on, a fierce contest of strength and will, until at last, Tahun emerged victorious, casting the serpent into the depths of the abyss. This victory not only solidified his status as the storm god, but also symbolized the triumph of order over chaos. Yet creation was not a singular event, but an ongoing process, and the myths of the Hattians reflect this understanding. The earth was alive, filled with spirits and deities that governed various aspects of life. From the gentle goddess of fertility, Hanna, who nurtured the fields and brought forth bountiful harvests, to the swift river god, Kaskal, who carved the landscape with his flowing waters, the pantheon of Hattian deities was as diverse as it was powerful. Each god and goddess played a vital role in the intricate web of existence, reminding the people of their connection to the natural world. As the Hattians looked up at the stars twinkling in the night sky, they saw not just distant celestial bodies but the reflections of their gods. Each constellation told a story, a myth that spoke of love, betrayal, and the eternal struggle between light and darkness. One such tale was that of Kumarbi, the father of the storm god, a figure whose journey mirrored the cycle of life itself. Kumarbi, often depicted as a giant, was the embodiment of the earth's raw power, a force that could both create and destroy. In a twist of fate, Kumarbi's quest for dominance led him to seek the throne of the heavens, where he confronted the great god, Anu. Their clash was monumental, a battle of titanic proportions that shook the very foundations of the universe. But Kumarbi, in his hubris, was ultimately defeated, swallowed by the great void. Yet, from his depths, new life emerged. He sired the storm god Tahun, a symbol of rebirth and renewal. This cycle of death and rebirth resonated deeply with the Hattian people, a reminder that from destruction could come new life and from chaos order would eventually rise again. The Hattians revered their gods not just for their might, but for their ability to connect with the human experience. They crafted rituals and festivals to honor these divine figures, understanding that their fates were intertwined. During the storm season, they would gather in sacred groves, adorned with flowers and offerings, praying for Tahun's favor. The air would crackle with anticipation as they awaited the thunder's roar, believing it to be the voice of their god, affirming their existence and guiding them through the storms of life. In the stillness of the night, as the wind whispered through the trees, the Hattians would recount the tale of Hannah and her nurturing embrace. According to legend, she descended from the heavens, her presence enveloping the earth like a warm blanket. Wherever she walked, flowers bloomed and grains ripened, as if the very soil rejoiced in her touch. The Hattians believed that her tears nourished the land, bringing fertility and abundance. They honored her with offerings of the first fruits of their harvest, expressing gratitude for the blessings bestowed upon them. But the myths were not merely stories of gods and goddesses. They were reflections of the Hattians' own struggles and triumphs. The challenges they faced mirrored the battles fought by their deities, and through these tales they found solace and understanding. When storms raged and crops failed, they looked to Tahun, seeking his guidance and protection. When life flourished, they celebrated like Hannah, acknowledging the delicate balance between creation and destruction, between life and death. As the ages passed, the Hattian myths continued to evolve, weaving new stories into the fabric of their culture. Each generation added its voice, shaping the narratives that defined their existence. The tales of creation and storm gods became more than mere legends. They transformed into a living testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the eternal dance between the divine and the mortal. Ultimately, the Hattian myths remind us that we are all part of a greater story, one that transcends time and space. The storm gods may have roamed the skies, and the earth may have trembled beneath their feet, but in the end, it is the connection between humanity and the divine that endures. In every thunderclap, in every gust of wind, we are reminded of the power of creation and the ever-present cycles of life that bind us all together. So let us carry these tales forward, whispering them to the winds, sharing them by the fireside, and passing them from generation to generation. For in the Hattian myths of creation and storm gods, we find not just the story of a people, but the universal truths that resonate within each of us, echoing through the ages like the distant rumble of thunder on a stormy night. In the quiet dawn of history, as shadows of the past lingered in the twilight, a remarkable transformation was unfolding across the ancient world. It was a time when humanity began to forge its destiny, embracing innovation and craftsmanship that would shape civilizations for millennia to come. Welcome to the Bronze Age, a period that marked the emergence of tools and weapons that not only changed the way people lived, but also how they interacted with one another and their environment. Picture a landscape bathed in the golden hues of early morning sunlight. Villages nestled in fertile valleys, bustling with life. Farmers toiled in the fields, their hands calloused from labor, while children played along the riverbanks, splashing in the cool waters. Yet behind this idyllic scene lay a world on the brink of revolutionary change. The Bronze Age began around 3300 BCE, a time when the first metal to reshape human civilization, copper, was being extracted from the earth. Initially, copper was a precious commodity, malleable and easy to work with. But it was the brilliant discovery of alloying copper with tin that would give rise to bronze, a material far superior in strength and durability. This seemingly simple combination unleashed a wave of innovation that would forever alter the course of human history. Imagine the clanging sounds of hammers striking metal, the fire's glow illuminating faces of artisans dedicated to perfecting their craft. In workshops across the ancient Near East, skilled metallurgists experimented and honed their techniques, creating tools that would revolutionize agriculture. Sickle blades, sturdy and sharp, allowed farmers to harvest crops with precision, while plows enhanced the efficiency of tilling the soil. The Bronze Age saw a significant leap in agricultural productivity, leading to surplus food and the growth of burgeoning communities. As these communities flourished, so too did the need for tools that could support complex societal structures. Pottery became more sophisticated, with beautifully crafted vessels for storage and trade. Textiles, woven with intricate patterns, adorned the bodies of both the elite and the everyday citizen. The Bronze Age was not merely about survival. It was a time of creativity and expression, where art and utility intertwined seamlessly. Yet, innovation did not stop at agriculture and craftsmanship. The advent of bronze also heralded a new era of warfare. With the creation of stronger, sharper weapons, societies began to engage in conflicts that would echo through time. Swords, spears, and shields made from bronze turned battles into fierce contests of skill and strategy. This was a world where power was often defined by the might of one's armory, where the clang of metal signaled not just the onset of war, but the rise and fall of empires. The stories of legendary warriors began to unfold against the backdrop of this tumultuous age. In the Fertile Crescent, chariots pulled by horses tore across battlefields, their drivers expertly maneuvering to gain the upper hand. The Battle of Kadesh, fought around 1274 BCE between the Egyptians and the Hittites, stands as a testament to the strategic innovations of the time. With bronze weapons in hand, these ancient soldiers engaged in a dance of death, their fates intertwined in a struggle for dominance. As we delve deeper into the Bronze Age, we must acknowledge the incredible networks of trade that began to emerge. The precious metals and materials required to create bronze did not exist in abundance in every region. Trade routes stretched across vast distances, facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures. From the bustling markets of Mesopotamia to the coastal ports of the Mediterranean, merchants traveled with their wares, forging connections that transcended borders. Imagine the sights and sounds of a bustling marketplace. Merchants hawking their wares, the aroma of spices wafting through the air, and the vibrant colors of textiles catching the eye. It was here in these vibrant hubs that cultural exchanges flourished. Innovations in metallurgy, art, and even writing spread like wildfire, igniting the flames of creativity across the known world. The advent of writing systems like cuneiform and hieroglyphics allowed societies to record their histories, communicate complex ideas, and establish laws, further solidifying the foundations of civilization. But even as these cities thrived, the Bronze Age was not without its challenges. The very innovations that propelled societies forward also sowed the seeds of conflict. As resources became scarcer and the desire for power intensified, rivalries brewed. The rise and fall of kingdoms marked the landscape, with some cultures flourishing while others crumbled into dust. The Hittites, the Egyptians, the Minoans, and the Mycenaeans each left behind a legacy of triumphs and tragedies, echoing through the ages. Amidst these turbulent times, the Bronze Age also bore witness to remarkable achievements in architecture and urban planning. Grand palaces rose from the earth, adorned with intricate frescoes and lavish decorations. The Minoan civilization on the island of Crete was renowned for its impressive palaces at Knossos, where advanced plumbing systems and vibrant art painted a picture of sophistication and splendor. The Mycenaean strongholds on the Greek mainland, with their massive stone walls and intricate burial sites, spoke of a society steeped in both artistry and militarism. As we explore the depths of the Bronze Age, we cannot overlook the profound impact of religion and spirituality on these ancient cultures. Temples dedicated to gods and goddesses became centers of worship and community life. Rituals and sacrifices were intertwined with daily existence, providing a connection to the divine that was both comforting and powerful. The mythology that emerged during this time, filled with tales of gods, heroes, and creation, shaped the moral and ethical frameworks of societies, guiding their actions and aspirations. And yet, as the Bronze Age reached its zenith, it eventually faced a slow decline. The very innovations that fueled its growth began to unravel the fabric of society. Climate changes, resource depletion, and internal strife took their toll. The great cities that once stood as beacons of power became shadows of their former selves. The collapse of trade networks and the onset of the so-called Bronze Age collapse around 1200 BCE signaled the end of an era, as many civilizations succumbed to chaos and disarray. But even in this twilight, the legacy of the Bronze Age endured. The tools, weapons, and innovations birthed during this period laid the groundwork for the Iron Age and the civilizations that followed. The knowledge of metallurgy, agricultural practices, and urban planning continued to influence generations, echoing through the ages as humanity moved ever forward. As we reflect on the dawn of the Bronze Age, we find ourselves at the crossroads of innovation and tradition. It was a time when humanity looked to the heavens for guidance, sought strength in unity, and dared to dream of a world shaped by creativity and ingenuity. The Bronze Age was not just a chapter in the annals of history. It was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a reminder that through innovation we can rise, adapt, and ultimately thrive in the face of adversity. So, as we stand here today, let us remember the lessons of the past. Let us honor the artisans, warriors, and visionaries whose hands shaped the tools and weapons that forged our civilizations. For in their stories, we find the very essence of what it means to be human, always seeking, always striving, and forever innovating. In the heart of Haiti, where the mountains cradle the vibrant valleys and the sun bathes the land in golden light, a unique tapestry of culture unfolds. A tapestry woven with threads of music, dance, and sacred feasts. It is here, amidst the lush landscapes and spirited communities, that we find the essence of Hattian festivals, celebrated with an exuberance that transcends mere tradition, breathing life into the very soul of the people. As the sun dips low on the horizon, casting a warm glow over the bustling streets, the air begins to pulse with an electric energy. The sound of drums resonates from afar, a deep, rhythmic heartbeat echoing through the valleys, calling forth the spirits of ancestors and igniting the flames of celebration. This is a world where music is more than sound. It is a language, a connection to the past, and a bridge to the divine. Haitian festivals are deeply rooted in a rich heritage that reflects the complexities of its history. The fusion of African, indigenous, Taino, and European influences has shaped a unique cultural identity, one that is vividly expressed through the rhythms of rara, the soulful melodies of kompas, and the vibrant beats of Vodou ceremonial music. Each note carries with it the weight of tradition, a reminder of the struggles and triumphs of generations before. As the festivities begin, the streets come alive in a kaleidoscope of colors. Brightly adorned floats glide down the thoroughfares, each one a masterpiece of artistry, reflecting the creativity and spirit of the community. The air is thick with the scent of local delicacies, spicy fried plantains, delectable griot, and sweet, sugary treats that beckon from every corner. People gather, laughter and conversation mingling with the music, creating a symphony of joy that resonates through the hearts of all present. Among the most revered of these celebrations is the Feast of Assumption, a day that honors the Virgin Mary, a pivotal figure in Haitian spirituality. As families come together, they prepare elaborate meals, invoking the blessings of their ancestors. The communal spirit is palpable. Tables overflow with food, and laughter fills the air as stories are shared. It's a time for reflection, for gratitude, and for the reaffirmation of bonds that hold communities together. As night falls, the true magic of the festival begins to unfold. The rhythmic pulse of the drums grows louder, calling participants to join in the dance. In the flickering light of bonfires, people of all ages sway and twirl, their bodies moving to the rhythm of the music as if guided by an unseen force. The dance is not merely an expression of joy, it is a spiritual act, a way to honor the spirits that walk among them. Each movement tells a story, a testament to the resilience and vibrancy of life in Haiti. In the midst of this celebration, we find the Vodou priestess, or Mambo, whose presence commands respect. With her intricate knowledge of the spirits, she leads the community in sacred rites that intertwine music, dance, and prayer. The air thickens with the scent of burning herbs, and the sound of her voice rises above the drums, weaving a spell that draws everyone closer. She calls upon the Loas, the spirits of Vodou, inviting them to join the festivities, to bless the gathering with their wisdom and protection. As the night deepens, the festival transforms into a vivid tapestry of the sacred and the secular. The lines blur as the music swells, and the dancers lose themselves in the ecstasy of the moment. Each twirl and leap is a celebration of life itself, a declaration of joy that echoes through the valleys. The vibrant costumes sparkle in the firelight, adorned with beads and sequins that catch the eye and reflect the spirit of the dancers. It is a feast for the senses, a visual and auditory delight that leaves an indelible mark on the hearts of all who witness it. But not all festivals are solely about joy and celebration. Some carry the weight of remembrance and reflection. The Day of the Dead, or Fête des Morts, is a poignant time when families gather to honor their loved ones who have passed. Altars are adorned with photographs, flowers, and favorite dishes of the departed, creating spaces where the living and the dead can commune. The atmosphere is solemn yet filled with love, as stories are shared and memories cherished. The music takes on a different tone, soft, reflective melodies that soothe the soul and evoke a deep sense of connection to those who have gone before. As dawn breaks, casting a soft light over the remnants of the night's celebration, the energy of the festival slowly begins to ebb. Yet the spirit of the gathering lingers, a reminder that the bonds forged in joy, in remembrance, and in dance are unbreakable. The laughter of children, the warmth of shared meals, and the rhythm of the drums remain etched in the hearts of all who participated. It is a beautiful cycle, a continuation of a legacy that celebrates life in all its forms. In Haiti, festivals are not merely events on a calendar. They are living, breathing expressions of culture, spirituality, and community. They remind the people of their roots, their struggles, and their triumphs. Through music and dance, they honor their past while embracing the present, weaving together the threads of history and hope. As we step back from this vibrant world, we carry with us the stories of those we encountered, the laughter, the music, the joy, and the sorrow. The festivals of Haiti are a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a celebration of life that transcends boundaries and unites people in a shared experience of love and community. In every beat of the drum, in every twirl of the dancer, we find echoes of a rich heritage, reminding us that, despite the challenges we face, there is always a reason to celebrate, to dance, and to honor those who came before us. And so, as the sun sets once more over this beautiful land, we are left with the sounds of laughter and music still echoing in our hearts. A vivid reminder that in the dance of life, we are all connected, bound by the rhythm of our shared humanity. In the cradle of civilization, where the Tigris and Euphrates rivers weave their way through arid landscapes, lies the ancient heart of Mesopotamia. Here, humanity first learned to write, to build, and to dream of empires. As we embark on our journey through the sands of time, we will explore the fascinating encounters with two of its most formidable cultures, the Akkadians and the Assyrians. Imagine, if you will, a time over 4,000 years ago. Mesopotamia is a patchwork of city-states, each vying for power and influence. Among them stands the city of Akkad, a place that would soon rise to prominence under the reign of a man named Sargon. Legend has it that Sargon was born in humble circumstances, set adrift in a basket on the river, only to be rescued and eventually crowned as king. His story is one of ambition and destiny, a narrative that would shape the very fabric of Mesopotamian history. Sargon's vision was grand. He sought to unify the disparate city-states of Mesopotamia under one banner, to create an empire that stretched beyond the horizon. With a keen mind and an iron will, he led his armies into battle, conquering the neighboring lands with remarkable speed. His military strategies were ahead of their time, as he made use of a standing army and innovative tactics that would become a blueprint for future conquerors. The Akkadian Empire flourished under Sargon's rule, becoming a beacon of culture, trade, and governance. It was during this golden age that the Akkadians developed one of the world's first writing systems, cuneiform. With a stylus in hand, they etched their thoughts, stories, and transactions onto clay tablets, creating a permanent record of human experience. This was a revolutionary leap, one that allowed knowledge to transcend generations. As we delve deeper into the Akkadian Empire, we find a society rich in art and literature. The epic tales of heroes, gods, and the human condition flourished, capturing the imagination of its people. Poets and scribes celebrated the exploits of deities, while artisans crafted exquisite sculptures and reliefs that adorned the temples and palaces. The grandeur of the Akkadian Empire was not merely in its military conquests, but also in its cultural legacy, which resonated through the ages. However, as with all great empires, the sun began to set on Akkad. The very forces that had propelled Sargon to greatness also sowed the seeds of decline. Internal strife, economic challenges, and external pressures from neighboring tribes would ultimately lead to the collapse of the Akkadian Empire. Yet, from its ashes, a new power would rise: the Assyrians. The story of the Assyrians begins in the northern reaches of Mesopotamia, in a city called Ashur, named after the chief deity of their pantheon. The Assyrians, unlike their Akkadian predecessors, were known for their fierce military prowess and a ruthlessness that would instill fear across the region. They were not merely conquerors, but also master administrators, creating a sophisticated system of governance that allowed them to control vast territories. Under the reign of Tiglath-Pileser III, the Assyrian Empire reached new heights. He implemented reforms that strengthened the military, expanded trade networks, and centralized authority. The Assyrians were innovative, employing tactics that included psychological warfare, siege engines, and an unparalleled intelligence network. Their armies swept across the land, from the mountains of Anatolia to the shores of the Mediterranean, leaving a trail of conquest in their wake. But the Assyrians were not solely defined by their prowess in battle. They were also patrons of the arts and sciences. In the great city of Nineveh, they built magnificent palaces adorned with intricate bas-reliefs depicting their victories, while the famous library of Ashurbanipal became a beacon of knowledge, housing thousands of clay tablets that preserved the wisdom of the ancients. Yet the Assyrian Empire too was not immune to the cyclical nature of history. Their relentless expansion and harsh governance led to resentment among the conquered peoples. As the empire grew larger, the cracks began to show. The very strategies that had once brought them success now sowed discord and rebellion. Eventually, a coalition of enemies would rise, leading to the downfall of one of the most formidable empires in history. As we reflect on the stories of the Akkadians and Assyrians, we are reminded of the transient nature of power and the legacies that remain long after empires have fallen. The achievements of these civilizations continue to echo through time, shaping our understanding of governance, warfare, and culture. But what of the people who lived in these great empires? Imagine the farmers toiling in the fields, the merchants bustling through marketplaces, and the scholars scribbling in the shadows of grand libraries. Their stories, often overshadowed by the grand narratives of kings and conquests, are woven into the very fabric of Mesopotamian civilization. The Akkadians brought forth the dawn of urban life, where communities flourished around the fertile banks of rivers, leading to innovations in agriculture and trade. The Assyrians, with their formidable military, created a sense of shared identity among the diverse peoples of their empire, fostering a complex tapestry of cultures that would influence one another for centuries. As the sun sets over the ancient landscapes of Mesopotamia, we are left with a profound appreciation for the encounters with the Akkadians and Assyrians. Their narratives are not just tales of conquest and glory, they are reflections of human ambition, creativity, and resilience. They remind us that history is not merely a chronicle of events, but a testament to the enduring spirit of humanity. In the end, the stories of the Akkadians and Assyrians serve as a poignant reminder of our shared past. They invite us to explore the complexities of civilization, to understand the forces that shape our world, and to recognize the threads of connection that bind us across time and space. As we walk the paths of history, let us carry forward the lessons learned from these ancient empires, honoring their legacies and the enduring quest for knowledge, culture, and understanding that defines us all. In the vast tapestry of human history, there are moments that shimmer like stars against the dark canvas of time, illuminating the paths of civilizations that shaped our world. One such moment lies in the shadow of the Hittites, a powerful empire that once thrived in Anatolia, present-day Turkey, around 1600 to 1200 BCE. But as the sun set on their era, a new force began to emerge from the mists of the ancient world, the Indo-Europeans. Their arrival would not only alter the course of history, but also weave a new narrative into the fabric of human existence. Imagine yourself in the heart of Anatolia, a land rich in resources, where the mountains cradle deep valleys and the rivers carve their way through the earth like veins of life. The Hittite Empire, at its zenith, is a marvel of military might and cultural sophistication. They are builders of grand cities, creators of intricate treaties, and masters of diplomacy. Their language, a branch of the Anatolian languages, echoes through stone inscriptions and clay tablets, revealing tales of gods, kings, and the daily lives of their people. But beneath this veneer of stability, the winds of change are stirring. As the Hittites engage in trade and warfare with neighboring civilizations, Egyptians to the south, Assyrians to the east, the seeds of a new chapter are being sown. It is in the rugged terrains of the Eurasian steppes, where the grasslands stretch endlessly under a vast sky, that the Indo-European peoples begin their journey. Nomadic and fierce, they roam with their herds, their lives intertwined with the rhythms of nature. The Indo-Europeans are not a single tribe or group. They are a tapestry of diverse cultures, languages, and traditions. They speak in tongues that will one day give birth to many of the languages we know today: Latin, Greek, Sanskrit, and many others. They possess a shared ancestry that traces back to a common homeland known as the Pontic Caspian Steppe, a region that has birthed legends and warriors, As the Hittites reign over their well-fortified cities, the Indo-Europeans begin to migrate, driven by a myriad of factors: climate change, population pressures, and the search for new pastures. They travel in waves, crossing mountains and rivers, their tribes moving as one, as if guided by an unseen hand. Each step they take is laden with the promise of discovery and conquest, a journey that will forever alter the ancient world. The arrival of the Indo-Europeans in Anatolia is not merely a clash of swords, but a confluence of cultures. Picture the moment when these new peoples, with their distinct customs and beliefs, encounter the Hittites. There is tension, of course. The Hittites are not inclined to give up their territory without a fight. Yet amidst the strife, there is also an exchange, a melding of ideas, practices, and technologies. The Indo-Europeans bring with them advanced techniques in metallurgy, agriculture, and warfare. Their chariots, swift and deadly, revolutionize the battlefield, giving them a distinct advantage over their adversaries. The Hittites, ever adaptable, begin to incorporate these innovations, leading to a fascinating amalgamation of cultures. It is a time of both conflict and cooperation, creating a dynamic landscape where the old and the new collide. In the midst of this transformation, we must not forget the spiritual realm. The Indo-Europeans carry with them a rich mythological tapestry, filled with gods and goddesses who embody the forces of nature. Their religious beliefs, centered around the worship of deities associated with thunder, the sky, and fertility, slowly intertwine with the Hittite pantheon. This syncretism gives rise to new rituals and practices, a testament to the resilience of cultures in the face of change. As the years flow like the rivers of Anatolia, the balance of power begins to shift. The Hittite Empire, once a formidable force, finds itself stretched thin, battling not only the Indo-Europeans, but also internal strife and external threats. The great cities of Hattusa and Kadesh, once bustling centers of commerce and governance, begin to feel the strain of their fading glory. The Indo-Europeans, emboldened by their victories, establish their own kingdoms and polities, laying the foundations for what will become the Phrygian and Luwian cultures. But the story does not end here. The shadow of the Hittites casts long, even as they begin to fade from the historical record. Their achievements, their language, their very essence live on in the cultures that follow. The Indo-Europeans, now settled and intermingled, will evolve into new societies, each bearing the imprint of their Hittite predecessors. In the grand narrative of history, the arrival of the Indo-Europeans is not merely a tale of conquest, it is a story of transformation. It reminds us that the past is not a static entity, but a living, breathing force that shapes our present and future. The echoes of the Hittites and the Indo-Europeans resonate through time, whispering secrets of resilience, adaptation, and the enduring quest for identity. As we reflect on this chapter, let us remember that every civilization is a mosaic of influences, a blending of stories and experiences that transcends borders and time. The Hittites and the Indo-Europeans, though separated by culture and language, share a common thread, a legacy of strength, creativity, and the indomitable spirit of humanity. In the end, the arrival of the Indo-Europeans serves as a poignant reminder of the ebb and flow of civilizations. Just as the Hittites once stood as a beacon of power and culture, so too did the Indo-Europeans rise, carving their place in history and forever changing the landscape of the ancient world. Their story, woven into the fabric of time, invites us to explore the depths of our shared humanity, to recognize the shadows and light that dance across the annals of history, and to embrace the endless possibilities that lie ahead. And so, as we close this chapter on the shadow of the Hittites and the arrival of the Indo-Europeans, we are left with a sense of wonder, a reminder that the past, like the rivers of Anatolia, flows ever onward, shaping the world as we know it today. In the sunlit valleys of ancient Anatolia, where the rolling hills cradled the dreams of civilizations long past, a story of resilience and transformation unfolds. This is the tale of the Hattians, an enigmatic people whose existence was intricately woven into the very fabric of this land. Their journey, marked by challenges and triumphs, takes a compelling turn when the mighty Hittites rise to power, ushering in an era of assimilation and survival. As we delve into the past, we find ourselves in the heart of the Hattian territory, a realm that thrived on the cusp of the Bronze Age. The Hattians, known for their vibrant culture and deep spirituality, lived in harmony with their surroundings. They were skilled artisans, their pottery adorned with intricate designs that echoed the stories of their ancestors. Temples dedicated to their deities dotted the landscape, standing as testaments to their devotion and unyielding spirit. Yet, the winds of change were blowing across Anatolia. The Hittites, a formidable warrior society, emerged from the north with ambitions that stretched far and wide. They were not merely conquerors, they were builders, crafters of empires, and architects of a new order. Their arrival in Hattian lands was both a threat and an opportunity, a crossroads where survival and assimilation would dance a delicate waltz. Initially, the Hattians bristled at the encroachment of the Hittites. Their lands, rich with the legacy of centuries, were now at risk. But in the face of overwhelming force, the Hattians were not driven solely by fear. Instead, they began to forge an unexpected alliance. In the crucible of conflict, they realized that survival meant adaptation. It meant embracing change while holding on to the essence of their identity. The Hittites, recognizing the value of the Hattian culture, began to adopt elements of their ways. Artisans from both cultures exchanged ideas, blending Hattian motifs with Hittite designs. The once distinct pottery styles began to merge, creating a new artistic language that spoke of unity rather than division. It was a fascinating transformation, where the Hattian spirit found a way to thrive even in the shadows of a mighty empire. As we explore this intricate tapestry of life, we cannot overlook the tales of trade and interaction. Hattian merchants, skilled in navigating the complexities of ancient markets, found new avenues under Hittite rule. They became vital links in the burgeoning trade networks, connecting far-flung regions and facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures. The Hittites, with their structured economy and military prowess, provided the stability necessary for Hattian merchants to flourish. Yet, the path was not without its obstacles. The Hattians grappled with the loss of autonomy, their traditional governance structures yielding to Hittite authority. The Hittite kings, with their grand ambitions, sought to integrate the Hattians into their empire, often imposing new laws and customs. For some Hattians, this was a bitter pill to swallow. Their hearts ached for the independence and traditions that had defined them for centuries. But amid the struggle for identity, a remarkable phenomenon began to emerge. The Hattians, rather than retreating into isolation, began to blend their rituals and beliefs with those of the Hittites. They found comfort in shared traditions, celebrating festivals that honored both Hattian and Hittite gods. The sacred spaces they once cherished transformed into arenas of cultural exchange, where the melodies of ancient hymns resonated alongside new chants, creating a harmonious symphony that spoke of coexistence. In the villages scattered across the Hattian landscape, families found a way to navigate this complex new world. Elders, the keepers of stories and wisdom, became the bridges between the past and present. They taught the young about the importance of their heritage while encouraging them to learn the ways of the Hittites. In this dynamic interplay, a new generation emerged, one that carried the legacy of the Hattians while embracing the opportunities presented by Hittite rule. The Hittites, too, began to recognize the strength found in diversity. As they expanded their empire, they understood that assimilation did not mean erasure. The Hattians contributed to the richness of Hittite culture, infusing it with their own unique flavors. The Hittite pantheon grew to include Hattian deities, their stories woven into the epic narratives of Hittite kings. This cultural amalgamation was not just a survival strategy. It became a source of strength, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. As the years turned into decades, the borders between the Hattians and Hittites blurred. A new identity emerged, one that celebrated the shared heritage of both peoples. The Hattians were no longer merely subjects of a foreign empire. They had become integral to the Hittite narrative, their contributions shaping the course of history. The artifacts unearthed from this period tell a story of collaboration and coexistence, revealing a time when two cultures danced together in the embrace of change. But as with all great stories, challenges persisted. The rise of new powers in the region, along with internal strife within the Hittite Empire, threatened the delicate balance that had been achieved. The Hattians, ever resilient, adapted once again. They fortified their communities, preserving their traditions while standing firm alongside their Hittite neighbors. In this tumultuous landscape, the spirit of survival burned bright. As we reflect on the legacy of the Hattians under Hittite rule, we are reminded of the enduring power of culture and identity. Their story is not one of defeat, but of transformation. It is a testament to the capacity of human beings to navigate the complexities of life, to find strength in diversity, and to weave new narratives from the threads of the past. So as we gaze upon the ruins of ancient cities and the remnants of once vibrant cultures, let us remember the Hattians, those resilient souls who, under the shadow of a great empire, found a way to assimilate, to survive, and ultimately to thrive. Their journey is a timeless reminder that in the face of change, we can choose to embrace what unites us, to honor our roots while reaching toward the horizon of possibility. In this dance of assimilation and survival, the Hattians left an indelible mark on history, a legacy that continues to resonate in the heart of Anatolia and beyond. In the cradle of civilization, there existed a people whose legacy has slipped silently into the shadows of history, the Hattians. Nestled in the heart of Anatolia, in what is now modern-day Turkey, the Hattians were a tapestry of rich culture and vibrant life, their existence woven into the very fabric of the ancient world. But as the sands of time shifted, so too did their presence, fading into obscurity, leaving behind only whispers of their once thriving civilization. Imagine, if you will, the landscape of Anatolia circa 3000 BCE. The air is thick with the aroma of fertile earth, the sun casting a golden hue over the rolling hills and valleys. Here the Hattians cultivated their land, nurturing crops that would sustain not only their families, but the burgeoning societies around them. They were skilled artisans, their hands crafting intricate pottery adorned with symbols that told stories of their gods, their daily lives, and their hopes for the future. As we delve deeper into the world of the Hattians, we find a people who embraced the complexity of existence. They built their settlements with care, constructing homes that echoed the harmony of their surroundings. It is in these simple abodes that families gathered, sharing tales by firelight, their laughter mingling with the night air. The Hattians were not just survivors, they were dreamers, artists, and thinkers, striving to carve out a legacy in a world that was often hostile and unforgiving. But the Hattians were not alone in this land. They coexisted with neighboring cultures, each influencing the other, creating a vibrant mosaic of traditions and beliefs. The Hittites, who would rise to prominence in the centuries that followed, were among them. Initially, interactions between the Hattians and Hittites were marked by trade and cultural exchange. The Hattians, with their unique customs and practices, left a mark on the Hittite way of life. They shared agricultural techniques, weaving methods, and even religious beliefs, creating a rich tapestry of interdependence. Yet, as history often tells, this delicate balance would not last. As the Hittites grew in power, the Hattians began to feel the encroaching shadows of their dominance. The once thriving settlements of the Hattians started to diminish, their people slowly absorbed into the larger Hittite culture. What had once been a flourishing society began to fade, like a dream dissolving upon waking. The Hattians, it seems, were destined to become a footnote in the annals of history, their language and customs quietly slipping from collective memory. The Hittites would rise, their empire sprawling across the lands, overshadowing the smaller Hattian communities. It is in this context of cultural absorption that we observe the slow disappearance of the Hattians. They did not vanish in a cataclysmic event. Rather, they melted away, their identity gradually subsumed by the larger narrative being woven by their conquerors. As the years turned into centuries, the remnants of Hattian civilization became increasingly difficult to detect. Archaeologists and historians would later struggle to piece together the puzzle of their existence. Pottery shards, tools, and remnants of structures became the only testimonies of a people who once thrived. The echoes of their laughter, their stories, and their dreams lingered in the dust, waiting to be uncovered by those who dared to dig deeper into the earth's embrace. In the modern era, the story of the Hattians began to resurface, igniting curiosity and fascination among scholars and history enthusiasts alike. Excavations in Anatolia uncovered artifacts that hinted at the Hattians' existence, but the narrative remained frustratingly incomplete. What we know is a patchwork of discoveries, each revealing a fragment of their culture, yet the essence of who they were eludes us, remaining a silent mystery. The Hattians worshipped a pantheon of deities, their beliefs woven into the very fabric of their daily lives. They revered nature, celebrating the cycles of the earth and the changing seasons. Rituals were performed to honor the forces that governed their world, and their art reflected a deep connection to the earth and its mysteries. Yet, as the Hittites absorbed the Hattians, their gods were overshadowed, their religious practices diluted, leaving us to wonder what spiritual truths were lost in the silence. As we reflect on the disappearance of the Hattians, we are reminded of the fragility of human existence. Civilizations rise and fall, leaving behind echoes of their presence, yet the stories of many remain untold. The Hattians serve as a poignant reminder of how easily a culture can fade away, swallowed by the tides of time and the relentless march of history. Their disappearance is not just a loss for the Hattians, but a loss for humanity as a whole. A reminder that every story matters, that every voice deserves to be heard. Today, as we stand amidst the ruins of ancient Anatolia, we are called to honor the Hattians and the legacy they left behind. We must strive to remember those who came before us, to celebrate their contributions, and to recognize the beauty of their existence. By piecing together their story, we not only give voice to the Hattians, but also reflect on our own identities and the histories we create every day. In the end, the disappearance of the Hattians is a silent ending, yet it speaks volumes about the nature of civilization and the human experience. It is a story of resilience, of adaptation, and ultimately of loss. As we continue to explore the remnants of their culture, let us carry their memory forward, ensuring that their story, though silent, is never forgotten. For in the quiet corners of history, the echoes of the Hattians linger, waiting for us to listen, to remember, and to honor their place in the tapestry of humanity. In the heart of Anatolia, beneath the sun-soaked earth and the sprawling landscapes, lies a tale that echoes through the ages. a narrative woven into the very fabric of history, culture, and identity. This is the story of the Hittites, a civilization that once flourished in the region known as Hatti, leaving behind a legacy that still resonates with us today. Join us as we unearth the legacy of Hatti, words and names remembered. To understand the Hittites, we must first turn our gaze to the land they called home. Hatti, with its rolling hills and fertile valleys, was a cradle of civilization. It was here, thousands of years ago, that a group of people emerged, united by a common language and culture. They carved their existence into the stone and soil, crafting a society that would go on to influence the world around them. The Hittites spoke a language that belonged to the Indo-European family, a tongue that would eventually give birth to words and names that would cross borders and centuries. As we delve into their world, we are reminded of the power of language, a bridge that connects us to those who lived long before us. The names of places and people from the Hittite era still resonate today, whispered in the wind and etched in our collective memory. Imagine wandering through the ancient city of Hattusa, the capital of the Hittite Empire. The sun casts a warm glow on the massive stone walls, remnants of a glorious past that once echoed with the footsteps of kings and queens. Here, the Hittites built not only a fortress, but a center of culture and governance. The very name Hattusa carries with it a weight of history, a reminder of the achievements of a people who mastered the art of diplomacy and warfare. In the bustling streets of Hattusa, merchants traded goods from distant lands, while scribes meticulously recorded transactions and treaties on clay tablets. It was in this thriving metropolis that the Hittites honed their linguistic prowess, creating a system of writing that would preserve their thoughts, laws, and stories for generations to come. The cuneiform script, with its characteristic wedge-shaped marks, became the vessel for their legacy, offering us a glimpse into their world. Among the most fascinating aspects of Hittite culture was their pantheon of gods and goddesses, whose names still echo through the annals of time. From the enigmatic storm god Teshub, who wielded thunder as his weapon, to the goddess of love and war Ishtar, their deities embodied the complexities of life itself. The Hittites were not merely worshippers, they were storytellers, weaving narratives of divine intervention and human endeavor that continue to inspire awe and reflection. As we unravel the tapestry of Hittite mythology, we encounter tales of bravery, betrayal, and the eternal quest for understanding. The story of the sun goddess, who journeyed through the underworld only to rise again, serves as a poignant metaphor for resilience and hope. These narratives, rich with symbolism, transcended time and space, reminding us of the universal themes that bind humanity together. Yet, the legacy of Hatti is not solely defined by its gods and myths. It is also imbued with the names of kings and queens whose reigns shaped the destiny of an empire. Take, for instance, the name Mursili, a ruler whose ambition led him to expand the Hittite territories far and wide. His exploits, recorded in the annals of history, reveal the intricacies of power and the weight of leadership. Mursili's name, like many others from this era, is not just a title. It is a story waiting to be told. As we sift through the sands of time, we encounter the name Suppiluliuma, perhaps one of the most famous Hittite kings. His strategic prowess and diplomatic acumen forged alliances that altered the balance of power in the ancient Near East. Under his reign, the Hittite Empire reached its zenith, a testament to the strength and resilience of a civilization that navigated the tumultuous waters of politics and warfare. The echoes of his name resound in the chronicles of history, a reminder of the legacy left behind. But the story of Hatti is not merely one of conquest and power. It is also a narrative of cultural exchange and evolution. The Hittites were adept at assimilating the traditions and practices of the peoples they encountered, They borrowed deities from the Hurrians, adopted art forms from the Egyptians, and engaged in trade with the Assyrians. This spirit of openness and adaptability is reflected in the names and words that emerged from their interactions, enriching the tapestry of their language. As the centuries unfolded, the Hittite Empire faced challenges that would ultimately lead to its decline. Yet, even as their political power waned, the essence of Hatti endured. The names of Hittite warriors, philosophers, and artisans continue to inspire modern scholars and enthusiasts alike. Archaeologists, armed with their tools and a thirst for knowledge, excavate the remnants of this ancient civilization, breathing life into forgotten names and places. In the 20th century, the rediscovery of Hittite texts marked a turning point in our understanding of this remarkable culture. The deciphering of cuneiform tablets opened a window into their world, revealing insights into their legal systems, agricultural practices, and social structures. Scholars dedicated their lives to piecing together the puzzle of Hatti, ensuring that the names and words of this civilization would not fade into oblivion. As we reflect on the legacy of Hatti, we are reminded of the interconnectedness of humanity. The names and words that emerged from this ancient civilization serve as a testament to our shared history. They remind us that despite the passage of time, we are bound by a common narrative, a story of struggle, triumph, and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. Today, as we traverse the landscapes once inhabited by the Hittites, we carry their legacy within us. The echoes of their words and names resonate in our own lives, reminding us of the importance of preserving our own stories. For in remembering the past, we honor those who came before us, ensuring that their voices continue to be heard. As we draw this journey to a close, let us carry the legacy of Hatti with us, a legacy etched in stone, woven into language, and embedded in our hearts. The words and names of the Hittites may have emerged from a distant past, but they remain alive, a testament to the enduring power of human expression and the stories that connect us all. With each name remembered, we breathe life into history, honoring a civilization that, though long gone, has left an indelible mark on the tapestry of time. In the annals of history, few stories are as rich and textured as the journey of the Hattians to the Hittites. As we delve into this fascinating narrative, we find ourselves transported to a time when the world was a tapestry of emerging civilizations, each weaving its own thread into the fabric of human existence. Join me now as we explore the continuity of faith that not only defined these ancient peoples but also bound them across generations. Picture, if you will, the rolling hills and fertile valleys of Anatolia, a land where the sun spills golden light over lush landscapes and glistening rivers carve their paths through the earth. It is a realm steeped in myth and mystery, where the echoes of the past still resonate in the whispers of the wind. Here, in this cradle of civilization, the Hattians first established their presence around the 3rd millennium BCE. They were a people whose identity was intricately woven into the land they inhabited, a tapestry of culture, spirituality, and social structure that would lay the groundwork for future generations. The Hattians were not merely a civilization, they were the keepers of a profound spiritual tradition. Their beliefs were deeply rooted in nature, with deities that personified the elements and forces around them. Each mountain, river, and tree was infused with divine essence, and the Hattians honored these spirits through rituals that connected them to the very soul of their land. The sun, the moon, and the earth itself were revered, and in their eyes every aspect of existence was intertwined with the divine. As we journey through time, we witness the rise of the Hittites, a group of Indo-European tribes that began to migrate into Anatolia around the 18th century BCE. With their arrival, a new chapter in this story unfolded, one marked by both conquest and cultural exchange. The Hittites, known for their military prowess and political acumen, soon came to dominate the region, establishing an empire that would rival the great powers of the ancient world. Yet, as the Hittites settled into their new homeland, they did not erase the legacy of the Hattians. Instead, they embraced it. The Hittites recognized the spiritual significance of the land that had nourished the Hattians for centuries. They adopted many of their predecessors' rituals, gods, and beliefs, creating a rich tapestry of faith that harmonized the old with the new. This continuity of faith was not merely a matter of convenience. It was a testament to the deep respect the Hittites held for the people who had come before them. Imagine the vibrant ceremonies held in sacred groves, where both Hattian and Hittite worshippers gathered to pay homage to the deities of the earth. The air would be thick with the scent of offerings, flowers, fruits, and incense, while the rhythmic sounds of drums and flutes filled the atmosphere, inviting the divine presence to join in their celebration. In these moments, the lines between the two cultures blurred, creating a shared spiritual experience that transcended time. One of the most fascinating aspects of this cultural exchange was the Hittites' syncretism in religion. They did not merely adopt Hattian deities, they reinterpreted them, infusing the old gods with new meaning. Take, for instance, the Hattian goddess of fertility, who was seamlessly integrated into the Hittite pantheon. Known as the mistress of the animals, she became a symbol of abundance and prosperity. The Hittites revered her as a protector of their flocks and fields, safeguarding the very essence of their livelihood. As we explore this continuity of faith, we cannot overlook the significance of the written word. The Hittites were pioneers in the use of cuneiform script, a writing system borrowed from the Mesopotamians. In their clay tablets, they recorded not only administrative matters, but also their religious texts and rituals. Through these inscriptions, we glimpse the ways in which the Hittites honored their Hattian predecessors. The prayers, hymns, and myths that emerged from these tablets reflect a synthesis of both traditions, a beautiful melding of beliefs that shaped their collective identity. In the sacred spaces of Hittite temples, we find the physical manifestations of this continuity. The architecture speaks volumes, grand structures adorned with intricate carvings and reliefs that depict scenes from both Hattian and Hittite mythology. These temples served as a sanctuary for worshippers seeking connection with the divine, and within their walls, the echoes of Hattian chants could still be heard, mingling with the Hittite prayers that rose toward the heavens. But the story does not end here. As the Hittite Empire flourished, its influence spread far beyond the borders of Anatolia, reaching into the realms of the Levant and beyond. The Hittites engaged in diplomacy and trade, forging alliances and exchanging ideas with neighboring cultures. This interaction further enriched their spiritual landscape, as they absorbed elements from other faiths, creating a vibrant mosaic of beliefs. Consider the moment when Hittite envoys traveled to distant lands, bearing gifts and messages of goodwill. In these encounters they encountered other deities, other ways of understanding the divine. Yet instead of rejecting these new ideas, the Hittites embraced them, integrating foreign gods into their pantheon. This adaptability showcased their deep-rooted belief in the interconnectedness of all things, a philosophy that stemmed from their Hattian heritage. As time marched on, the Hittite Empire eventually faced decline. External pressures and internal strife led to its fragmentation, yet the legacy of the Hattians and Hittites endured. The faith that had been cultivated over centuries did not vanish. It transformed, adapting to the changing tides of history. The people of Anatolia continued to honor the gods of their ancestors, echoing the rituals and beliefs that had once thrived under the Hittite banner. In the end, what we uncover in this journey from Hattians to Hittites is not just a tale of conquest and assimilation, but a profound exploration of faith's enduring nature. The continuity of belief, the reverence for the earth and its spirits, persisted through time, a reminder that spirituality transcends the boundaries of culture and civilization. As we reflect on this rich tapestry of history, we realize that the essence of these ancient peoples lives on. The mountains still stand, the rivers still flow, and the whispers of the Hattians and Hittites linger in the hearts of those who walk the land today. Their story is a testament to the resilience of faith, a legacy that continues to inspire and connect us to our shared human experience. And so we leave this tale not merely as spectators of the past, but as participants in a timeless journey, a journey that reminds us of our own roots, our beliefs, and the profound interconnectedness that binds us all. In the end, it is faith that carries us forward, weaving the threads of our story into the fabric of eternity. In the heart of our planet, beneath layers of earth and time, lie the remnants of civilizations that once flourished, their stories waiting to be unearthed. Today, we journey into the world of archaeology, where the whispers of the past beckon us to listen. We will explore the archaeological traces of ancient temples, exquisite pottery, and sacred relics, each a testament to the creativity, spirituality, and daily lives of those who came before us. Imagine standing in the ruins of a great temple, its once majestic stone pillars rising from the ground like the skeletal remains of a colossal creature. The air is thick with stories untold, as the shadows of ancient priests and worshippers linger in the corners of our imagination. These temples, often built in the most sacred locations, served not only as places of worship, but as cultural epicenters where art, architecture, and spirituality converged. Take, for instance, the Temple of Karnak in Egypt, dedicated to the god Amun. This sprawling complex, with its vast hallways and towering obelisks, was the center of religious life for millennia. It was here that the pharaohs sought the favor of the gods, commissioning grandiose structures that reflected their power and devotion. As we walk through the temple's remnants today, we can almost hear the chants of ancient priests echoing off the walls, feel the weight of history pressing down upon us. But it is not only the Egyptians who left behind such magnificent structures. Across the seas in Mesoamerica, the Mayans constructed their own awe-inspiring temples, like those found in Tikal. Rising above the lush jungle canopy, these stone edifices were both astronomical observatories and sacred sites for rituals that spanned generations. Each stone carved with intricate glyphs tells a story, a narrative of a people deeply connected to the cosmos and their deities. As we stand before these ancient monuments, we are reminded of the universal human desire to reach beyond ourselves, to seek connection with something greater. Yet, temples are just one piece of the puzzle. The art of pottery, too, reveals much about the lives of those who lived in the shadows of these great structures. As we sift through the soil of ancient settlements, we uncover shards of pottery, each piece a fragment of daily life, each glaze and design a reflection of culture and identity. Imagine a bustling village where artisans and families come together to create pottery not merely for function, but for beauty. In Japan, the tradition of raku pottery emerged from the tea ceremonies of the 16th century, where each piece was crafted to enhance the experience of tea drinking. The rough textures and organic shapes of raku ware speak of a philosophy that values imperfection and the beauty of the natural world. Each cup tells a story of hands that shaped it, of the fire that kissed its surface, and of the tea that was shared over quiet conversations. Traveling further west, we find the ancient Greeks, whose pottery is renowned for its artistry and detail. The black figure and red figure techniques showcased scenes of mythology, daily life, and athletic competitions, preserving moments in time for future generations to admire. As we explore the vessels that once held wine or olive oil, we can almost envision the gatherings they facilitated, the laughter, the debates, and the communal spirit that defined ancient Greek society. Pottery is not merely an art form, it is a vessel of history, a tangible connection to the past. Each piece we uncover helps to reconstruct the lives of those who shaped them, revealing their customs, beliefs, and social structures. It serves as a reminder that the everyday objects of life can hold profound significance, encapsulating the essence of humanity through the ages. Now let us turn our attention to the relics, those sacred artifacts that often define the spiritual essence of a culture. Relics, whether they be fragments of the true cross, Buddha's tooth, or the bones of saints, carry with them the weight of belief and devotion. They are not just physical objects, they are imbued with the hopes, dreams, and aspirations of those who revered them. In the heart of Jerusalem, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre stands as a pilgrimage site, believed to house the burial site of Jesus Christ. The relics found within its walls are the focal point of faith for millions. As we wander through the ornate chapel, we can almost feel the throngs of pilgrims who have come before us, their prayers rising like incense into the air. Each relic tells a story of faith, a reminder of the power of belief that transcends time and culture. Similarly, in the heart of India, the sacred city of Varanasi is home to countless relics associated with Hindu deities. Temples adorned with intricate carvings house statues that have been worshipped for centuries. The Ganges River, considered the holiest of rivers, flows nearby, its waters believed to wash away sins and grant salvation. Here, relics are not merely objects, they are conduits of spirituality, connecting the physical and the divine. As we piece together these archaeological traces, temples, pottery, and relics, we begin to see a mosaic of human experience that transcends geography and time. Each artifact provides a window into the past, inviting us to explore the complexities of ancient societies. They remind us that the people who lived in these times were not so different from us. They experienced love, loss, joy, and struggle. They sought meaning, beauty, and connection, much like we do today. In our exploration of the past, we also uncover the fragility of these archaeological treasures. As modernity encroaches upon ancient sites, and as climate change threatens to erode the landscapes of our collective history, we are reminded of our responsibility to preserve these remnants of our shared heritage. The echoes of ancient voices call out to us, urging us to protect and honor the stories that have shaped humanity. In the end, our journey through the archaeological traces of temples, pottery, and relics brings us full circle, reminding us that we are all part of a larger narrative. The stories we uncover are not just the stories of the past, they are the foundation upon which we build our present and future. As we stand amidst the ruins and artifacts, let us remember that history is not a distant memory but a living legacy, one that continues to inspire and guide us as we navigate the complexities of our own lives. So, as we conclude our exploration today, let us carry with us the lessons of the ancients, their dreams, their struggles, and their triumphs, into our own stories, weaving the tapestry of humanity ever tighter with threads of understanding, empathy, and respect for those who walked before us. The echoes of the past may fade, but their resonance can forever shape our journey forward. In a land where the echoes of ancient civilizations linger in the winds, there lies a site that beckons the curious and the adventurous. Boghaz-Köy, a treasure trove of history nestled in the heart of modern-day Turkey. Here, among the rolling hills and sun-drenched plains, the remnants of a bygone era whisper tales of grandeur, power, and the intricate tapestry of human civilization. Today we embark on a journey through time, unearthing the story of Bogazkoy and its significance in the annals of history. Imagine standing on the very ground where the Hittites, an ancient people of remarkable ingenuity and ambition, once flourished. Over 3,000 years ago, this site, known as Hattusa, served as the capital of the Hittite Empire, a formidable power that stretched across the ancient Near East. With its high stone walls and majestic temples, Hattusa was a city that radiated strength and sophistication, a beacon of culture and governance. As we wander through the remnants of this once great city, we are greeted by the imposing Lion Gate, its weathered stone still standing guard over the past. The lions carved into its pillars seem almost alive, fiercely protecting the secrets that lie within. This gateway, a marvel of ancient engineering, leads us deeper into the heart of Hattusa, where the echoes of bustling marketplaces, royal decrees, and sacred rituals can almost be heard. But what truly sets Bogazkoy apart is not merely its grand architecture or its strategic location. It is the stories that lie buried beneath the soil, waiting to be brought back to life. The archaeological explorations here have revealed a wealth of artifacts, tablets, and inscriptions that offer a glimpse into the lives of the Hittites. These clay tablets, inscribed with cuneiform writing, tell of treaties and trade, of wars fought and alliances forged. They speak of a society not just focused on conquest, but one that valued diplomacy and cultural exchange. One of the most remarkable finds in Bogazkoy is the extensive library of tablets that has been unearthed, a veritable treasure chest of knowledge that has illuminated our understanding of the Hittite world. Among these tablets, we find records of the Hittite laws, which reveal a sophisticated legal system that governed every aspect of life. From property rights to family matters, these laws provide insight into the values and priorities of a society that thrived over a millennium ago. As we delve deeper into the narratives inscribed on these ancient tablets, we discover that the Hittites were not just warriors, they were also skilled diplomats. The Treaty of Kadesh, one of the oldest known peace treaties in history, was signed between the Hittite king Ramses II of Egypt and his rival. This monumental agreement, etched into stone, stands as a testament to the power of negotiation and cooperation, showcasing that even in times of conflict, the path to peace is paved with dialogue. The Hittites were also known for their remarkable advancements in technology and industry. Within the walls of Hattusa, evidence of advanced metallurgy and pottery has been found, indicating a society that not only conquered, but also created. The intricate designs on their pottery reflect a deep appreciation for art and beauty, while their metalwork demonstrates an understanding of materials and techniques that was unparalleled for their time. As we walk through the ruins of the Great Temple, a site once dedicated to the storm god, we can almost sense the presence of the priests and worshippers who gathered here to pay homage. The towering stones, though weathered by time, stand as a reminder of the spiritual life that thrived within these walls. The rituals performed here were not just acts of devotion. They were a means of connecting the divine with the earthly, a belief that the gods played an active role in the affairs of men. Yet the story of Bogazkoy does not end with the Hittites. The passage of time saw the rise and fall of empires, each leaving its mark upon this sacred ground. After the decline of the Hittite Empire, the site continued to be inhabited, witnessing the ebb and flow of new cultures and civilizations. The Phrygians, Persians, and later the Romans all found themselves drawn to the land, contributing to its rich and diverse history. It is fascinating to consider how the remnants of the past have shaped the present. The very stones that comprise the ruins of Hattusa have seen the rise of empires, the clash of swords, and the forging of alliances. Each layer of earth tells a story, and as archaeologists painstakingly sift through the soil, they piece together the mosaic of human experience that unfolded here. In our exploration of Bogazkoy, we also encounter the broader implications of the Hittite civilization, on the ancient world. The Hittites were not an isolated people. They were part of a complex web of trade routes that connected distant lands. Their interactions with neighboring cultures facilitated the exchange of ideas, goods, and innovations. It is through these connections that the Hittites contributed to the cultural and technological advancements that would shape the course of history. As we reflect on our journey through Boghaz-Köi and beyond, we are reminded of the enduring legacy of the Hittites. Their achievements in governance, diplomacy, and culture continue to resonate in our modern world. The lessons learned from their story serve as a reminder of the importance of cooperation, the value of knowledge, and the power of resilience in the face of adversity. The sun begins to set over the ancient ruins, casting a golden hue across the landscape. As we stand amidst the echoes of history, we are filled with a sense of connection to those who once walked these same paths. The past, it seems, is not so distant after all. It lives on in the stories we tell and the lessons we learn. As we leave Boghaz-Köi, we carry with us a piece of its history, a reminder that within the dust of the past lies the foundation of our present. The ancient land has unveiled its secrets, and in doing so, has enriched our understanding of the intricate tapestry of human civilization. Through the lens of time, we see that we are all part of a much larger story, woven together by the threads of shared experiences, aspirations, and dreams. And so the journey continues, for history is never truly finished. It is a living narrative, ever unfolding, waiting for the next explorer to uncover its hidden treasures. With each discovery, we are reminded that the past is not just a series of events, but a vibrant tapestry that shapes our present and guides our future. As long as there are those willing to listen to its whispers, the ancient land of Boghaz-Köi will forever hold its secrets, inviting us to explore, to learn, and to connect with the remarkable journey of humanity. In the heart of Anatolia, beneath the layers of time and history, lies a story waiting to be told. A story of a civilization that flourished long before the rise of empires. A civilization whose voice has echoed through the ages, yet remains hauntingly silent. This is the tale of the Hatti, an ancient people whose language, the Hattian, has long been lost to history. Today, we embark on a journey to reconstruct their lost voices, to bring forth the whispers of a culture that once thrived. Imagine a time over 4,000 years ago when the sun kissed the golden fields of central Anatolia. Here, the Hatti lived as farmers, artisans, and traders. Their lands were rich and fertile, cradled between the flowing rivers and majestic mountains. They crafted intricate pottery, wove colorful textiles, and built impressive cities that bore witness to their ingenuity and spirit. Yet despite their remarkable achievements, the Hatti have faded into obscurity, leaving behind only fragments of their once vibrant existence. As we delve deeper into the remnants of their civilization, we encounter the Hattian language, a tongue that danced upon the lips of its speakers, a language that has become a ghost, hovering just beyond our grasp. The Hattian language, thought to be a language isolate, bears no known relatives, no familiar echoes in the tongues of its neighbors. It is a puzzle, a riddle wrapped in the enigma of time, and the quest to unlock its secrets is both daunting and exhilarating. But what do we truly know about the Hattian people? Archaeological excavations have unearthed their cities, revealing the foundations of homes, temples, and marketplaces. Among the ruins, we find inscriptions etched into stone tablets, ancient texts that whisper of their beliefs, their rituals, and their daily lives. Yet, the Hattian language itself is elusive, a shadow that flits just beyond the reach of our understanding. In the early 20th century, scholars began to piece together the fragments of Hattian inscriptions. These inscriptions were often found alongside those of the more dominant Hittite culture, which emerged in the same region. The Hittites, who spoke an Indo-European language, conquered and absorbed many of the Hatti, but they also found value in the Hattian heritage. They adopted some Hattian words and concepts, weaving them into their own narrative, a testament to the enduring legacy of a people who would not be forgotten entirely. As we explore this linguistic tapestry, we encounter the challenges faced by modern-day linguists and historians. The Hattian language is primarily known through a handful of inscriptions and texts, many of which are fragmentary and contextually ambiguous. Scholars have debated the meanings of these words for decades, striving to reconstruct a language that has no living speakers and no comprehensive lexicon. It is a labor of love, driven by the desire to resurrect a voice that has been silenced for far too long. One of the most significant contributions to our understanding of the Hattian language comes from the study of bilingual texts. These texts, inscribed in both Hattian and Hittite, serve as a vital bridge between the two languages. Linguists carefully analyze the parallels, drawing connections that illuminate the structure and vocabulary of Hattian. Each deciphered word feels like a triumph, a step closer to reclaiming the identity of a people who once thrived. Yet the task is not without its frustrations. The Hattian language is riddled with complexities, words that shift in meaning, grammatical structures that defy easy categorization. Scholars have likened the process of reconstruction to piecing together a shattered mirror, where each fragment offers a glimpse into a world that is both familiar and foreign. As they sift through the remnants, they are driven not only by academic curiosity, but by a profound respect for the voices that came before them. Among the scholars dedicated to this quest is Dr. Elif Korkmaz, a passionate linguist who has dedicated her career to the study of the Hattian language. Her journey began in her childhood, inspired by tales of ancient civilizations whispered by her grandmother. With each discovery, she has felt a deepening connection to the Hatti, as if their spirits guide her through the labyrinth of history. Korkmaz believes that understanding the Hattian language is not just about words on a page, it is about honoring the lives of those who once walked the earth, who loved, dreamed, and created. As we follow Dr. Korkmaz into the archives, we witness her painstaking efforts to compile a lexicon of Hattian words. Each entry is infused with meaning, a reflection of the culture and beliefs of the Hatti. Words for family, for love, for the changing seasons, they become a tapestry of emotions, a window into a world that resonates with our own. Yet, the process is not linear. It is fraught with moments of doubt and uncertainty. Dr. Korkmaz often finds herself wrestling with the ambiguity of certain terms, grappling with the weight of responsibility that comes with resurrecting a lost language. Yet, amidst the challenges, there are moments of serendipity that ignite her passion. One day, while examining an inscription in a dusty archive, she stumbles upon a phrase that translates to "the heart of the earth." It is a simple yet profound expression that encapsulates the Hatti's deep connection to their land, their reverence for nature. In that moment, Dr. Korkmaz feels a surge of elation, as if the Hatti themselves are whispering their gratitude for being remembered. As our journey unfolds, we also meet the descendants of the Hatti, those who continue to call Anatolia home. They carry the legacy of their ancestors in their hearts, even if they do not speak the Hattian language. The connection to the land, the rituals that celebrate the changing seasons, the stories passed down through generations, all of these elements intertwine to create a rich cultural tapestry that honors the past. In one village, we encounter a local storyteller, an elder named Ahmet, whose voice resonates with warmth and wisdom. He shares tales of the ancient Hatti, weaving together history and mythology as if breathing life into the long-forgotten narratives. His stories evoke a sense of belonging, a reminder that the essence of the Hatti still lingers in the hearts of those who cherish their heritage. Through Amit's eyes, we see the enduring spirit of the Hatti, a spirit that refuses to be silenced. As we draw closer to the conclusion of our journey, we reflect on the importance of reconstructing the Hattian language. It is not merely an academic exercise, it is an act of reclamation, a way to honor the voices that have shaped our shared human experience. The Hatti may be long gone, but their stories, their words, and their dreams continue to resonate through the ages. In a world where languages are lost at an alarming rate, the work of scholars like Dr. Korkmaz and the dedication of the descendants of the Hatti remind us of the power of language to connect us across time and space. As we strive to resurrect the Hattian language, we are not only giving voice to the past, but also forging a path toward a more inclusive future, one where every language, every culture, and every story has a place in the tapestry of humanity. So, as we conclude this exploration of lost voices, reconstructing the Hattian language, let us carry forward the echoes of the Hatti, nurturing the threads of their legacy. Let us remember that every lost voice has the potential to be heard again, if only we are willing to listen. In doing so, we honor the past, enrich our present, and pave the way for a future where the whispers of forgotten cultures can once more rise to the surface, illuminating our shared journey on this beautiful, complex planet we call home. In the heart of Anatolia, where the sun rises over ancient ruins and whispers of the past linger in the air, lies a story that intertwines the fates of two cultures, the Hittites and the Hattians. This tale, rich in spiritual beliefs, customs, and the legacies of those who walked before us, invites us to delve into the enigmatic world of the spiritual heirs, Hattian beliefs in Hittite texts. Picture, if you will, the Hittite Empire at its zenith around 1400 BCE. This formidable power, known for its advanced governance and military prowess, stretched across vast territories, engaging in diplomacy and warfare with neighboring kingdoms. Yet, beneath the surface of this imposing empire lay a tapestry woven with the threads of an older culture, that of the Hattians. The Hattians, who inhabited the regions of central Anatolia long before the rise of the Hittites, possessed a rich spiritual tradition, one that would not only endure but also profoundly influence the Hittite worldview. As we embark on this journey through time, we find ourselves in the bustling city of Hattusa, the Hittite capital. The air is thick with the scent of incense, and the sounds of artisans crafting intricate sculptures fill the streets. Here, the Hittites have built a society that venerates the divine, with temples dedicated to a pantheon of gods. Yet, within these grand structures, echoes of Hattian spirituality resonate. The Hittites, while powerful, were not immune to the allure of the beliefs of the land they had come to dominate. One cannot understand the Hattian influence without first exploring their pantheon, a complex web of deities that governed various aspects of life. The Hattians worshipped a myriad of gods and goddesses, each embodying elements of nature and human experience. Among them was the goddess of fertility, a figure whose importance transcended mere agricultural prosperity. She was revered not only for the bounty she could bestow, but also for the life-giving force she represented. This theme of fertility and regeneration would find its way into Hittite texts, where the goddess was often invoked to ensure the continuation of life and prosperity. As we explore the sacred texts unearthed from the ruins of Hattusa, we discover that the Hittites, in their quest to forge a cohesive identity, adopted and adapted these Hattian beliefs. The Hittite scribes, with their meticulous cuneiform writings, chronicled the stories of their gods, often weaving Hattian deities into their own narratives. One such example is the Hattian goddess of war, known as the Great Mother. In Hittite texts, she is elevated to a position of prominence, embodying the fierce spirit of protection and strength, a testament to the blending of cultures and the reverence the Hittites had for their predecessors. Yet, the Hattian influence extended beyond mere deities. It seeped into the very fabric of Hittite rituals and ceremonies. As we walk further into the ancient temple complexes, we can almost hear the chants of priests invoking the names of gods in a language that harkens back to the Hattian tongue. Rituals that were once exclusively Hattian found their way into Hittite practices. The sacred rites of purification, offerings to the earth, and the veneration of ancestors became integral to Hittite spirituality, demonstrating a cultural symbiosis that would shape their religious landscape. The Hittites were astute enough to recognize the power of these beliefs, understanding that to unify their empire, they needed to embrace the spiritual heritage of the land. This is particularly evident in the Hittite festival calendar, which mirrored the agricultural cycles revered by the Hattians. Festivals celebrating the harvest or the changing of the seasons were imbued with Hattian significance, drawing people together in communal worship and reinforcing a shared identity. As we delve deeper into the texts, we encounter the concept of spiritual heirs. The Hittites, in recognizing their spiritual lineage, viewed themselves not merely as conquerors, but as successors to the Hattian legacy. In doing so, they forged a connection to the past, one that imbued their rule with a sense of legitimacy and continuity. This notion of spiritual inheritance is beautifully encapsulated in a Hittite prayer, where the scribe beseeches the gods, acknowledging the wisdom and strength of the Hattians as a guiding light for their own endeavors. But the story does not end here. The Hattians, though a people who have faded into the annals of history, left a profound mark on Hittite identity, one that would resonate for centuries. As the Hittite Empire reached its zenith, the echoes of Hattian beliefs continued to shape the spiritual landscape, influencing not only religious practices, but also the very concept of leadership and governance. Consider the Hittite kings, who, in their inscriptions, often referred to themselves as the chosen of the gods. This title was not merely a claim to power. It was a recognition of their role as custodians of the land, a role deeply rooted in Hattian tradition. The Hattians believed that kingship was a sacred duty, one that required a deep connection to the divine and to the ancestral spirits. The Hittites, in adopting this belief, elevated their kingship to a spiritual calling, one that demanded both reverence and responsibility. As we reach the conclusion of our journey, we reflect on the enduring legacy of the Hattians within Hittite texts. The spiritual heirs, though once distant, have woven their beliefs into the very essence of Hittite culture, creating a rich tapestry that tells the story of a people who understood that their strength lay not only in conquest, but in the embrace of those who came before them. In the quiet ruins of Hattusa, where the stones stand as silent witnesses to the passage of time, we find a reminder of the power of belief, the importance of cultural exchange, and the idea that we are all in some way spiritual heirs to those who tread the earth before us. The Hattian beliefs, once thought to be lost, continue to whisper through the ages, inviting us to honor our past and recognize the intricate connections that bind us together, even across the vast expanse of time. In the heart of Anatolia, where the sun rises with a golden hue over rolling hills and ancient landscapes, lies a story that has often been overshadowed by the grand narratives of empires and conquests. This is the tale of a forgotten foundation, a saga that traces the roots of Anatolian power back to the very essence of its land and its people. Welcome to A Forgotten Foundation, the Roots of Anatolian Power. Imagine, if you will, the vast expanses of Anatolia, a land that has borne witness to millennia of history. From the early Hittites and Phrygians to the towering might of the Byzantine and Ottoman empires, this region has been a crossroads of civilizations. Yet, beneath the surface of these grand tales, lies a more profound story, a narrative of resilience, adaptation, and a unique cultural tapestry woven from the threads of diverse communities. Our journey begins thousands of years ago in the fertile valleys and rugged mountains of Anatolia. Here, the first whispers of civilization began to emerge. The people lived in harmony with the land, cultivating crops and domesticating animals. They revered the earth, recognizing that their survival depended on the cycles of nature. These early inhabitants understood that power was not only derived from strength in battle, but also from a deep connection to their environment. As we delve deeper, we encounter the Hittites, one of the earliest known civilizations in Anatolia. They established a formidable empire, mastering the art of diplomacy and warfare. Yet, what often goes unmentioned is their remarkable ability to absorb and adapt influences from neighboring cultures, creating a unique identity that would lay the groundwork for future generations. The Hittites forged alliances, traded goods, and exchanged ideas, illustrating that the strength of a culture lies not just in its warriors but in its capacity for collaboration. As we move through the annals of time, the Phrygians rise to prominence, bringing with them innovations in agriculture and pottery. They introduced new techniques that revolutionized farming, allowing communities to flourish. The Phrygians understood that true power stemmed from the ability to feed their people, to ensure that every individual had a place at the table. Their legacy reminds us that lasting strength is built on the foundation of sustenance and community. With the passage of centuries, we find ourselves witnessing the rise of the Urartian kingdom, nestled among the mountains of eastern Anatolia. The Urartians were not merely warriors, they were architects, builders of impressive fortresses and temples that still stand as testaments to their ingenuity. These monuments were not just symbols of power, they were reflections of a society that valued art, culture, and spirituality. The Urartians understood that their legacy would not only be defined by conquest, but also by the beauty they left behind. As we trace the evolution of power in Anatolia, we must also acknowledge the role of the nomadic tribes that roamed the steppes. These peoples, often seen as outsiders, played a crucial part in shaping the cultural landscape of Anatolia. They brought with them traditions, stories, and a spirit of resilience that permeated the very fabric of Anatolian identity. Their influence, while sometimes overlooked, is a reminder that true strength is often found in the unlikeliest of places. As we approach the classical era, the Greeks arrived on the shores of Anatolia, bringing with them a wealth of knowledge and new ways of thinking. The coastal cities flourished as centers of trade and philosophy, where ideas mingled and sparked innovation. The Greeks established colonies, and their influence can still be felt in the architectural marvels and philosophical teachings that shape the region. This period highlights the notion that power is not solely about territorial control, but also about the exchange of ideas that enrich the human experience. Yet the story of Anatolia does not end with the Greeks. The rise of the Roman Empire ushered in a new chapter, one marked by monumental achievements in engineering, governance, and culture. The Romans understood the importance of infrastructure, building roads and aqueducts that connected distant lands. They brought with them a system of laws that would influence civilizations for centuries to come. However, even amidst this imperial grandeur, the roots of Anatolian power remained deeply embedded in the traditions and cultures of its diverse peoples. As we journey through history, we encounter the Byzantine Empire, a continuation of the Roman legacy. The Byzantines preserved ancient knowledge while also embracing new ideas from the East. They fortified their cities and expanded trade networks, showcasing the importance of economic power in shaping the course of history. The Byzantine era serves as a reminder that true strength lies in adaptability, the ability to evolve while remaining grounded in one's heritage. But with the rise of the Byzantine Empire came challenges, and soon the Seljuk Turks would emerge, marking a significant turning point in Anatolia's story. The Seljuks, with their nomadic roots, brought with them a fresh perspective on governance and culture. They blended their traditions with those of the indigenous population, creating a rich tapestry of customs that would define the region for centuries. This period is a testament to the power of cultural fusion, where diverse influences come together to forge a new identity. The crescendo of this narrative culminates in the rise of the Ottoman Empire, a colossal force that would dominate the region for over 6 centuries. The Ottomans were astute administrators, skilled in diplomacy and military strategy. Yet, they were also cultural patrons, fostering the arts, architecture, and literature. The great mosque of Hagia Sophia, transformed into a mosque, stands as a symbol of the Ottomans' reverence for the past, while boldly embracing the future. The Ottomans understood that true power is not merely an exercise in conquest, but a celebration of the shared heritage of the peoples they governed. As we reflect on this journey through time, it becomes clear that the roots of Anatolian power are intertwined with the land itself and the myriad of cultures that have flourished within its borders. Each civilization, each tribe, and each community contributed to a legacy that is rich, diverse, and enduring. It is a reminder that power is not an isolated force. It is a collective spirit that thrives on collaboration, respect for nature, and the celebration of shared humanity. Today, as we walk through the streets of modern Anatolia, echoes of this rich history resonate in the laughter of its people, the vibrant markets, and the breathtaking landscapes. The story of Anatolian power is not just a chronicle of empires, it is a testament to the resilience and creativity of its inhabitants, a legacy that continues to inspire future generations. In this exploration of a forgotten foundation, we rediscover the roots of a land that has shaped the course of history. As we stand on this ancient soil, let us honor the past and embrace the future, remembering that the true essence of power lies not in dominance, but in unity, diversity, and the enduring spirit of the Anatolian people. In the heart of the ancient Anatolian landscape, where the rolling hills whisper secrets of bygone eras and the sun sets in hues that paint the sky with history, lies a tale that has intrigued scholars, historians, and curious minds alike. This is the story of the Hattians, a people whose legacy remains shrouded in mystery and whose identity is woven into the very fabric of early Anatolian civilization. As we embark on this journey, let us first step back in time to the 3rd millennium BCE, a period when the seeds of urbanization were being sown in the fertile crescent of Anatolia. It was an era marked by the rise of city-states, trade networks, and cultural exchange. Among these emerging societies, the Hattians carved out a unique space, yet their existence often seems overshadowed by their more famous successors, the Hittites. The Hattians were not merely a footnote in history, they were a vibrant people with their own language, culture, and religious practices. Their homeland, known as Hatti, stretched across what is now central Turkey. Imagine a land of verdant valleys and towering mountains, where the rivers flowed like veins through the earth, nourishing communities that thrived in this rich landscape. Though the Hattians are often associated with the Hittites, who would later dominate the region, the truth is that their influence reached far beyond mere subjugation. The Hittites, who arrived on the scene around the 17th century BCE, adopted much from the Hattians, including religious practices, deities, and even some elements of their language. This cultural exchange paints a picture of a complex relationship, one that scholars have debated for centuries. But who were the Hattians, really? This question has sparked numerous scholarly debates, each shedding light on different facets of their existence. Some researchers argue that the Hattians were an indigenous group, the original inhabitants of Anatolia, whose roots stretch back to prehistoric times. Others suggest that they were a conglomeration of various tribes and cultures that coalesced over the centuries, their identity evolving as they interacted with neighboring populations. The Hattian language remains a focal point in these discussions. With its unique script and structure, it provides tantalizing clues about the people who spoke it. Linguists have struggled to classify Hattian, often describing it as an isolate, an enigmatic language with no known relatives. This isolation only deepens the mystery surrounding the Hattians, as it suggests a distinct cultural identity that resisted the tides of change sweeping through the region. As we delve deeper into the Hattian world, we encounter a pantheon of gods and goddesses that reveals much about their beliefs and values. The Hattians practiced a polytheistic religion, worshipping deities linked to nature, fertility, and the forces of life. Rituals and ceremonies were integral to their way of life, steeped in an understanding of the natural world that surrounded them. Temples dedicated to these deities dotted the landscape, serving as both religious and community centers where the Hattians gathered to celebrate, mourn, and connect with the divine. One of the most significant archaeological sites that shed light on the Hattians is the ancient city of Hattusa, which would later become the capital of the Hittite Empire. Excavations at this site have unveiled a wealth of artifacts, including statues, inscriptions, and pottery that speak to the artistic and architectural prowess of the Hattians. The grand stone walls and massive gates of Hattusa stand as a testament to the engineering skills of a people who knew how to harmonize with their environment. As we consider the legacy of the Hattians, we must also address the narratives that have historically overshadowed them. The Hittites, with their military conquests and expansive empire, have often taken center stage in the annals of history. Scholars have sometimes portrayed the Hattians as a subservient culture, mere precursors to the Hittites, rather than recognizing them as a civilization worthy of study in their own right. However, recent scholarship is beginning to challenge this perspective. Researchers are advocating for a more nuanced understanding of the Hattians, one that acknowledges their agency and contributions to the cultural tapestry of Anatolia. As we sift through the evidence, it becomes clear that the Hattians were not simply a backdrop to Hittite glory. They played a vital role in shaping the trajectory of ancient Anatolian civilization. To truly appreciate the Hattians, we must also consider their interactions with other cultures in the region. Trade was a lifeblood for the Hattians, connecting them to neighboring societies such as the Assyrians and the Mesopotamians. They participated in a vibrant exchange of goods, ideas, and technologies, which enriched their own culture while also leaving an indelible mark on those they encountered. Picture bustling marketplaces filled with goods from distant lands. Textiles, metals, and pottery exchanged hands as merchants shouted to attract customers. The Hattians were not isolated. They were part of a larger tapestry of interconnected civilizations, each contributing to the rich mosaic of human history. As we navigate the scholarly debates that surround the Hattians, it's essential to recognize the limitations of our current understanding. Much of what we know is based on fragments of evidence, and many questions remain unanswered. How did the Hattians view themselves? What were their internal dynamics? What led to their eventual decline in the face of the Hittite ascendancy? In the end, the story of the Hattians is not just a tale of a lost civilization. It is a reminder of the complexity of human history and the myriad ways in which cultures intersect and influence one another. Their legacy is one of resilience, creativity, and adaptability, qualities that resonate even in our contemporary world. As we conclude our exploration of the Hattians, let us carry with us the understanding that history is not a linear narrative, but a tapestry woven from countless threads. The Hattians may not have wielded the same power as the Hittites, but their spirit endures in the landscape, the artifacts, and the ongoing quest for knowledge that drives us to uncover the truths of our past. So, as we stand in the shadow of ancient stones, let us honor the Hattians, not as an obscure footnote, but as a vibrant chapter in the epic saga of humanity, a testament to the enduring curiosity that propels us to seek out the stories of those who came before us. In the heart of a bustling city, where glass towers scrape the sky and the hum of modern life drowns out the whispers of the past, lies a story waiting to be told, a story of a people whose echoes still resonate through the tapestry of time. Welcome, dear viewer, to Modern Echoes, Memory of a Vanished People. As we embark on this journey, let us take a moment to close our eyes and imagine the world as it once was, a world teeming with life, culture, and vibrant traditions. Picture a landscape dotted with humble abodes, where the laughter of children mingles with the soft rustling of leaves. Here, in this rich tapestry of human experience, thrived the people we now seek to remember, a community whose essence lingers in the shadows of history. Long before the skyscrapers cast their shadows, there existed a vibrant society known as the Zalothi. Nestled in the fertile valleys and lush hills, the Zalothi were farmers, artisans, storytellers, and guardians of the land. Their lives were woven into the very fabric of nature, each season marked by cherished rituals that celebrated the cycles of life. They lived in harmony with the earth, each heartbeat resonating with the pulse of the world around them. But as we know, time is a relentless tide, a force that ebbs and flows, reshaping the very contours of existence. The winds of change began to blow, and with them came the advent of progress, a progress that, while promising prosperity, often swept away the delicate threads of ancient cultures. The Zalothi, once thriving, found themselves on the precipice of oblivion, their stories fading like the setting sun, eclipsed by the relentless march of modernization. As the years turned into decades, the Zalothi were gradually displaced. Their lands were transformed into sprawling urban landscapes, their traditions rendered obsolete in the face of a rapidly changing world. The vibrant festivals that once filled the air with music and laughter became mere memories, whispered among the few who still remembered. The Zalothi were not just losing their homes, they were losing their identity, their very essence. Yet, dear viewer, even in the face of such profound loss, the spirit of the Zalothi did not vanish entirely. It lingered in the hearts of those who remained, the elders, the guardians of memory. They gathered in small corners of the city, sharing stories of their ancestors, weaving the threads of tradition into the fabric of their children's lives. It was here, in these moments of storytelling, that the echoes of the Zalothi began to resonate once more. One such guardian was an elderly woman named Lyra. With silver hair cascading like a waterfall down her back, she embodied the wisdom of generations. Lyra would often sit beneath the shade of an ancient tree, its gnarled branches reaching out like arms embracing the past. Children would gather around her, their eyes wide with curiosity, eager to hear the tales that danced on her lips. She would recount the time when the Zalothi held grand celebrations to honor the harvest, their laughter mingling with the sounds of drums and flutes, a symphony of joy echoing through the valleys. As Lyra spoke, she painted vivid pictures of a world where the sun kissed the earth, where every grain of rice was a blessing, and every drop of rain was a promise. The children listened intently, their imaginations ignited, and in those moments, the spirits of the Zalothi lived on. They became the vessels through which the past was reborn, the keepers of a legacy that refused to be silenced. Yet, the struggle to preserve these memories grew increasingly daunting. The city around them continued to evolve, its relentless pace threatening to drown out the whispers of history. Buildings rose and fell like waves crashing upon the shore, each new structure a silent testament to the passing of time. But amidst the concrete jungle, the Zalothi found solace in the bonds they forged with one another. They began to organize community gatherings, bringing together those who shared their heritage, rekindling the flame of their culture. In these gatherings, the Zalothi not only shared stories but also celebrated their artistry. They revived traditional crafts, from intricate weaving to pottery that echoed the designs of their ancestors. The air buzzed with creativity, and the once dimmed flame of their culture began to flicker back to life. Young hands learned the ancient techniques, their fingers guided by the wisdom of the elders. It was a beautiful dance of generations, each step an affirmation of their identity, a refusal to let their history fade into obscurity. As the community flourished, something remarkable began to happen. The modern world, once seemingly indifferent, began to take notice. People from all walks of life were drawn to the vibrant tapestry of the Zalothi's culture. Artists, musicians, and scholars alike sought to understand the stories that had long been buried beneath the weight of progress. In this exchange, the Zalothi discovered a renewed sense of purpose. They were not merely relics of the past, they were living, breathing embodiments of resilience. The echoes of the Zalothi transcended the boundaries of their community, reaching far beyond the city limits. Their story became a source of inspiration for others facing similar struggles, those whose cultures had been overshadowed by the relentless tide of modernization. The Zalothi became a beacon of hope, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, the spirit of a people could endure, adapt, and thrive. As the years passed, the Zalothi learned to navigate the complexities of the modern world while staying rooted in their traditions. They established cultural festivals that celebrated their heritage, inviting people from all walks of life to partake in their joy. The once vanished people were no longer lost. They had emerged from the shadows, ready to reclaim their place in the narrative of humanity. And so, dear viewer, we find ourselves at the crossroads of history and modernity, a place where the echoes of the past continue to resonate in the hearts of a new generation. The story of the Zalothi is a testament to the power of memory, a reminder that even when a people seem to vanish from the annals of time, their essence can never truly be extinguished. They live on in the stories we tell, in the art we create, and in the bonds we forge. As we reflect on this journey, let us carry forward the legacy of the Zalothi, a legacy that speaks not only to the importance of preserving culture, but also to the power of community, resilience, and the indomitable spirit of humanity. In a world that is ever-changing, let us never forget the echoes of those who came before us, for it is in their stories that we find our own, a shared tapestry of existence that binds us all. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of modern echoes, memory of a vanished people. May the whispers of the past continue to inspire us as we navigate the present and dream of the future. In the heart of Anatolia, where rolling hills cradle the secrets of ancient civilizations, the echoes of a forgotten people still whisper through the ages. Long before the Hittites rose to prominence, before their empire sprawled across the landscape, there existed a culture known as the Hattians. Their legacy, often overshadowed by their successors, is a tapestry woven with threads of innovation, spirituality, and resilience. Join me as we journey back in time to explore why the Hattians still matter, even in our modern understanding of history. Imagine walking through the sun-drenched valleys of central Turkey, where the air is thick with the scent of wild thyme and the distant murmur of a river. Here, among the limestone cliffs and fertile plains, the Hattians thrived. They were an enigmatic people, living in a world that was rich with the promise of agriculture, trade, and cultural exchange. The Hattians were not merely a footnote in history. They were the architects of a civilization that carved its identity into the very bedrock of Anatolia. The Hattians emerged around 3000 BCE, long before the Hittites claimed their dominion. They spoke a language that remains largely a mystery to us today, with only fragments surviving in inscriptions. Yet through the lens of archaeology, we can glimpse the essence of what made the Hattians unique. They were skilled artisans, known for their intricate pottery and metalwork, which showcased their advanced understanding of technique and aesthetics. The delicate designs etched into their ceramics tell stories of everyday life, rituals, and the sacred. But it was not only their craftsmanship that set the Hattians apart, it was their spirituality. The Hattians had a complex pantheon of deities, a rich tapestry of gods and goddesses that reflected their relationship with nature and the cosmos. They worshipped the earth and the sky, the sun and the moon, understanding that their existence was intertwined with the forces of the universe. Temples dedicated to these deities dotted the landscape, serving as focal points for communal gatherings, rituals, and celebrations. As we wander through the remnants of Hattian settlements, we encounter the remnants of their spiritual world. The ruins of ancient temples and small shrines give us insight into their belief systems. The Hattian goddess of fertility, known as the Mother Goddess, is often depicted in terracotta figurines, her form a celebration of life and abundance. These artifacts reveal the depth of their reverence for the cycles of nature, a theme that resonates even today as we grapple with our own relationship with the environment. Yet, it is essential to understand that the Hattians were not isolated in their existence. They were part of a vibrant tapestry of cultures, interacting with neighboring societies, exchanging ideas, and influencing one another. The arrival of the Hittites around 2000 BCE marked a pivotal moment in this narrative. The Hittites, with their own rich cultural heritage, absorbed elements of Hattian life, from their religious practices to their artistic styles. This cultural amalgamation laid the foundation for the Hittite Empire, which would go on to dominate the region for centuries. However, the story does not end there. In the annals of history, the Hattians have often been relegated to the margins, overshadowed by the might of the Hittites. Yet, their influence is undeniable. The Hattian contributions to language, religion, and art endured even as the Hittites expanded their territory. It is a testament to the resilience of a people whose identity, though subsumed, continued to resonate through the ages. As we delve deeper into the legacy of the Hattians, we uncover the profound ways in which they shaped the cultural landscape of Anatolia. Their language, for instance, contributed to the development of the Hittite script, a merging of languages that would eventually give rise to one of the earliest written forms in history. This blending of linguistic heritage serves as a reminder that cultures do not exist in isolation. They are fluid, evolving through contact and exchange. The Hattians also played a significant role in the realm of trade. Their strategic location in Anatolia positioned them as intermediaries between the East and West, facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, and technologies. The bustling trade routes that crisscrossed their lands connected them to distant civilizations, from Mesopotamia to the Aegean. This network of commerce not only enriched the Hattians, but also allowed them to share their innovations and artistic expressions with the world. As we reflect on the importance of the Hattians, we must also consider the lessons their story imparts in our contemporary world. In a time when cultural identities are often contested, the Hattians remind us of the value of diversity and the strength found in collaboration. Their ability to integrate and adapt, to thrive in a dynamic landscape, speaks to the resilience of the human spirit. Imagine a world where we embrace the richness of our shared heritage, where the echoes of the past guide us toward a more inclusive future. The Hattians, with their vibrant culture and enduring legacy, offer us a glimpse of that world. They remind us that history is not merely a chronological account of events, but a complex interplay of lives, ideas, and beliefs that shape who we are today. As we stand on the precipice of the past, peering into the lives of the Hattians, we are struck by their humanity. They were dreamers and creators, worshippers and traders who navigated the challenges of their time with grace and ingenuity. Their story is one of survival, of adaptation, and ultimately of legacy. In our modern age, where archaeology continues to unveil the hidden chapters of our history, the Hattians deserve a place in the spotlight. They are not just relics of a bygone era, they are a testament to the enduring nature of culture and the interconnectedness of humanity. Their influence, though subtle, is woven into the fabric of our existence, reminding us that we are all part of a larger narrative that transcends time and borders. So, as we conclude our exploration of the Hattians, let us carry their story forward. Let us honor the past while embracing the present, recognizing that the lessons of the Hattians still echo in the chambers of our hearts. In a world that often seeks to divide, their legacy compels us to unite, to celebrate our differences, and to forge a path toward understanding. The Hattians may have vanished from the pages of history, but their spirit endures, waiting for us to acknowledge and cherish the impact they made on our shared journey through time.